So I have uploaded the last one, Peg, that you had been working on.
Yep.
Yeah, and I've got that on my laptop here.
Yep, and I'm gonna pull it up in
Oh
Word
my
because
God.
y'all know what happens in
iPad.
Google.
Gets
Drive.
ugly.
It's just not fun, is it?
It just gets ugly.
Google Drive is just, you know,
Oh, you know, and I can, you said, one email you sent me, you said something about I can do PDFs. I just can't edit them.
okay, I can.
In other words, I don't have that version. I just have the whatever, the free version, I guess.
Yep.
So I can read them. I just can't edit them in that format.
Now, would you guys prefer like a side view or like
Like
think
that.
like that
I
work
like it
and then
like
you edit
that.
like this?
That's pretty good.
Is that good?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to make it easier for everyone to
Turn
see.
I like it.
Well, it's too bad they don't have little lights. We could.
I know, if they're like a dimmer switch or something, or it'd be so much easier if like the switches were over here.
Yeah, I got you.
And you could shut those off, but again, I talked to Lindsay about that too, I'm like, it's hard. But this works, it's better than nothing.
Yeah, it is.
So again, just remember to bring your external keyboard if you want to build the zoom and edit from over here, so you
Yeah.
can still do.
Huh.
I have extra keyboards, but they're also smaller.
Yeah, I have mine. I can bring mine.
I mean, maybe we could ask for one. I mean, in that case, the only reason you still want this over here is if you get too far away, it gets too big on the wall, and then you get too stretched out over there for the projector. So the projector's gonna have to stay there so a longer HDMI cord is necessary.
You could, actually, the projector could be even closer, couldn't it?
Yes, it could.
I mean, if the cord's not all that
Yes,
way,
it could. It would actually come in
a little
more
sharper.
clearer too.
If it was closer.
Yes, yeah. So those are just, like I said, and this is just, again, we're just starting this too. I can see like it needs to be tilted this way. But we're good. Okay, so let's call the meeting to order. Present from my right,
Don Hernan,
Michelle Felicetti.
Peggy McDonald.
Dave was not able to make it this evening. So we are trying to come up with the first round of questions to submit to the public for input for the comprehensive plan. Is that correct, everyone?
Yes.
So we've started putting edits in red, as you can see, to update things. One thing I did find, oops. Where was it?
On that first page down bottom, that green section. Which other one?
Yes.
Oh,
This
that
is-
was
I had highlighted this in green because
right.
this, basically, are we taking it out?
Are we taking it out?
Yeah, because look what it says.
Yeah, it doesn't reference.
It doesn't reflect our current.
Yeah.
So do you want me to just do a strike through on that? For now?
I would
Leave it
say-
there?
It probably ought to come out. I mean, I don't.
Yeah, I think so.
I
I would just, one thing you could do is just strike through it.
Yeah.
And that
Okay.
way it'll show it was there and it's a change.
Okay.
That way,
Yeah.
if somebody has a question about it or wanted to pick out part of it, they can look at it.
Straight through. Oh, come on, maybe controls. All right, I'll have to strike through later because it's not going to do it.
Yeah, I know, I'm
Oops, oh, there, wait, I can do it. Where's my
There you
strike?
go.
Okay, let me go back to the other. Okay, so straight through. So, I think, basically the rest of it that I read is kind of still staying the same. The trend over the last 10 years is for families to attempt to live in multi-units on the, do you want to expand that in any way?
I'm sorry, which,
The next paragraph right after the green.
The
The trend over the last 10 years is for families to attempt to live in multi-units on the same property. And this is, I know, one of the things you're talking about. So
Right, it's,
do you want me to kind of highlight this one?
Oh,
So we
yeah.
have to.
Yeah.
I would highlight it, because there's a section in there that might, well,
Yeah,
the thing about it being owner occupied,
Right,
that may
so-
go away, I don't know,
right,
depends.
so I'm just gonna turn this green, is green a good color for everyone? Is everyone
Yeah, it's
okay with
as
that?
good as any.
It's just letting us know, hey, we need to potentially do something with this paragraph. I'm just trying to make it easy for everyone to know that.
Yep.
We're probably gonna tweak this paragraph, it is this way right now, we'll strike it out or getting rid of it.
Yep.
So that paragraph just caused me to pause, so we'll come back to that one later.
1 second. How is that gonna work?
How's what gonna work?
How are we, this won't, we
Oh,
can't vote on them at the same time.
no, we, oh, well, why,
So we can't vote on this, we can't make that change if it hasn't been voted on.
Well, isn't it up to our committee what we want to change?
well, we can propose a change.
Right, but we're voting on two, so if we strike it from the zoning ordinance, if it's voted against in the zoning ordinance and voted for in the comp plan, what does that look like?
Uh,
That is a good amendment.
wait a minute, let me think about this a second.
So if we took out owner occupied,
Yeah,
but then the ordinance doesn't
doesn't
pass.
Or vice versa?
or vice versa. I would, well, I mean, it doesn't actually have to be in the comprehensive plan.
I don't think it should be.
In other words, you don't, the details are not, the comprehensive plan is an
Right.
overall document.
There were some details that made no sense to me that were in here to begin with.
Yeah, the ordinance is, provides the step-by-step what you have to do. The
Correct.
comprehensive plan is your overall plan, and it does not have to have a great level of detail as far as that's concerned, I don't think.
And actually, it wouldn't matter, the town has allowed, has adopted changes to, yeah, So really, and they're actually the last 10 years, we're not talking about the last 10 years anymore, right?
No.
No,
So is there,
that could be rewritten a little
I can,
bit, but,
we can rewrite that whole paragraph.
yeah, and just leave that.
yeah,
So do you
I
want me
would-
to strike that out, that
Yeah.
language?
Yeah, just-
All right, so let me get out here.
Yep.
So now we want to scroll down. So it's just basically, we're gonna strike, with the provision.
Yeah,
Is that basically what I'm striking out?
I don't actually know that do we need that paragraph?
I don't know why it
I
has,
don't-
does it do any good?
No,
Then take it out.
I don't
I don't think it does. I mean, it's really,
see that.
If it's not helping anything, I mean, again, this is supposed to be a higher level document, gives you the goals and the objectives and things like that.
Right.
And then the ordinances provide the details.
yes.
So
Yes.
there's no, and it's bad news to have something in two documents because, unless
It
one
can-
refers
it
to
can
the other.
slip with one of them.
Right.
Because then if you have a conflict or if you change
That's true.
one, then you got the other one that's out of date.
Well, yeah, and then if you,
Exactly.
down the road, they change an ordinance, then we put something in here
Yeah.
that says,
Right,
oh,
right,
we
right.
stated this.
We don't need that.
We,
Yeah.
there goes that
So I
confusion
keep
again,
it at a-
especially with the cart before the
Keep
horse
it at a higher level.
scenario
Yeah.
that we have, that
Yep.
we've realized that,
And the same thing is coming up here later on. in the-
okay, so
What do you finish?
where?
As new subdivision.
Contract zoning in the next
Contract
paragraph.
zoning has gotta go.
Yes,
The
where's
wording.
that one?
The next, not the next one, but the one after.
The town adopted?
Yeah, I mean, that's one that is, right
Yeah.
now, it's been voted to be gotten
Yeah.
rid of,
Yeah.
but it has to go to the voters, and of
Oh,
course,
I'm
that
so
might
sorry.
pass, it might not pass.
So, contract, so that whole paragraph needs to go right here?
Yeah, I don't know that it's absolutely has to, as long as you show a strikeout, then we can,
Yeah.
at the
Yeah,
end of
and
this, we
strike
can
out
read it
green,
and
you
then
know,
it-
said if we decide we want to come back to it, we can.
or rewrite it somewhat, it could be
Yeah.
rewritten.
Uh-huh. Let's see, what else we have here, everyone. Town adopted provisions. See, I thought this was interesting
Oh, yeah,
too.
no.
Zoning should be amended to require businesses in the commercial zone to connect to each
Yeah,
other
no,
on
no,
the main
no,
route.
that was, that,
I don't
done.
think we can do that.
done. That was something that was thought about and then quickly
Oh,
went.
what,
to
no,
the
what do you mean, the
zoning.
back lots?
Yeah,
Oh.
the town, the fourth paragraph down from
Yeah.
the top there.
The town adopted?
I
Yeah,
don't know how you could even require that. on
Well,
state roads.
See, what it was, there was supposed to be back lots.
Okay,
And the problem with the whole concept was there was no, what do you want to call it? Really, the survey wasn't done by lot.
okay,
It was just shown by, on the map, just as a color.
okay.
And then the idea is to try to minimize the curb cuts into 111
Right.
because Department of Transportation does not want more curb cuts. It's a
Right.
big deal to get a curb
Right.
cut.
So are we taking that out though?
I don't see where it does us any good because it doesn't
Right,
make
I
any
don't
sense.
see how we can even enforce it either.
And it's actually, it's still in the ordinance, I think.
Yeah.
But it talks about
Is
backlot.
it?
I think, I didn't bring my
I'm
zoning
just gonna
ordinance.
black
with me.
that one out, so that's just, it doesn't even.
I would take it out.
All right, I think the next paragraph still belongs in here.
I do too. Yeah.
Which one are you on now?
The committee discussed the
Oh.
need for aging population.
Yeah, good luck with that
Can,
too.
yeah, I know. I mean, I think that can stay there because that still is a concern here.
Yeah.
It is a concern.
Yeah,
today.
that is important.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's important. And then I did read in this one, as of the writing of this plan, the state police, because it's not the state police anymore.
It's
It's
correct.
York County Sheriff's Department, so we're just gonna,
But we're not using them.
but they're saying as of writing this plan, the state police provide law enforcement coverage for Lyman. They don't anymore.
They don't?
No,
When
it's
did
the
they
York
stop?
County Sheriff's last year.
You
They wrote-
sure?
They wrote a letter.
Oh, are we paying, we're not paying for them.
We're not paying for it, but they just don't cover us anymore. State don't cover us anymore.
No.
So it's not even
There's not
state,
enough
it's
of
not
It
even
sounds like the
state
post
police.
office,
Yeah, not enough.
just
of them.
just
So
saying.
I'm gonna strike out state police and put in the York County Sheriff's
Okay.
Department.
Oh, I didn't realize that. I know at one
Yes.
time they're trying to get us to pay for a contract deputy. To my
Right.
knowledge, we haven't done that yet.
We have not
If
to
we
my
are,
knowledge.
I hope we don't. I mean, well,
Right,
I don't know. We don't have any coverage anyway, to speak
Right.
of, really.
there's just not enough of them, for sure.
No, they're not gonna.
There hasn't been a demand, there has been a demand, but do you want me to strike that out? There has been demand, they've had hearings on it, they've had meetings on it.
I would strike it out. I don't
I'm gonna
know
strike it
that.
out because it
Yeah.
doesn't, it can't.
Yeah. I agree.
And I think at the end, rereading this thing and maybe,
Rewording the whole thing, we'll just
yeah,
kind of chomp some stuff out, take some bites out of it
maybe
right
make it a
now.
little more logical.
Yep, and
Yeah.
then, there's the trash removal,
Well,
Yeah,
that's,
This is a hot mess, isn't it? Trash.
well, I don't know. I was gonna, that's the question. I saw, one of our selectmen, were you on live?
yes,
Oh, I saw a select person who happens to work in a library. And I was gonna ask her a question about trash. I couldn't remember what the question was. The question, I know we aren't getting a good percent, I don't think we're getting a good percentage of
We are
recycling.
not.
So
We are
my
not.
thought was, is there some way to publicize that? Maybe with a sign at the transfer station or possibly periodically send out, in one of the news, the blasts or whatever, what our
Yeah.
percentage recycling is.
I think we could have a packet,
So, I mean, it's just,
we could have a little packet that could be handed out at the window here, and maybe even the library, because I'm sure the select board member that really is into recycling would probably love to hand that out. But, even on a weekend, I'd be willing to go to the transfer station as people are dropping stuff off, hand them a pamphlet of how much they can see in the town, and here's how you recycle.
I don't think people, well,
They don't know how to.
and it's
or
single
why-
stream, you don't have to sort anything.
Well, everyone thinks you do.
See, that's
you
so
know,
easy.
And that's just it.
So easy
So I
to do.
think pamphlets and information, because
Anyhow.
people really aren't aware. Maybe they have to have a host of recycling night at the library, maybe we could ask for them to do that.
Yeah,
Well, maybe,
yeah.
then someone's got to pick it up. The other
No,
thing,
no, I mean, like they teach people about
oh,
recycling.
I see.
Like, the Eagle Maine could have a recycling night, education night,
So
that could be put on YouTube.
did either of you hear this report about recycling right now and how
It's not,
basically it's all being landfill?
and if they're not doing it,
Recycling is.
because there's no market for it, right? Because the Chinese don't want the cardboard or whatever,
Right,
or whoever, not say the Chinese, whoever was, we
Yeah.
were sending it somewhere before. I think out of the US, or maybe
yes,
whatever.
yes. And they're expanding the size of that big,
The one up,
huge landfill in Maine.
Mm.
And now it's, everybody's, I think they're keeping towns doing the recycling because they're trying to keep people in the habit of doing it.
Right,
Oh.
tables are figuring something out.
that's too bad.
But
I mean,
it's
actually, I have
still-
more recycling than I have garbage.
I do too, for
I
sure.
do too.
for sure.
But a lot of people they don't recycle a thing.
Yeah.
But if we could get them into, maybe even having bins at our parks that are separate, recycling bin versus.
Well,
landfill.
I mean, it's just a case of,
It's just unfortunate.
I don't think you can force it, but it has to be convenient, which it is right now, and there has to be
Right.
some level of awareness, and then after that, it's up to the
And
people.
there's not.
And if there are people that go around and collect trash,
Oh,
I don't know if they recycle or not. I'm not trying to put anybody out of
Uh,
business.
So,
I don't know. I
Well,
think when you had
I
separate
don't think
bags,
Riley does.
I don't think so.
But I don't
I don't know.
know about any other.
I don't want to put
I don't
anybody,
know any
I'm not criticizing anyone.
No, me either.
I just take my stuff up there. But
Yes,
Right.
right. Yep.
Right. Yeah, I
Anyway.
don't know if there's any other ones. that-
it's just another issue.
So do
You
you
know.
want me to flag that for now, or what do we wanna do?
I think we should,
Turn it orange?
yeah,
Or it's
let's
kind of
just kind of table
Kind of an
it.
action item that we wanna
Yeah.
talk about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where maybe we wanna have a nice survey on that?
I think
Does
that-
that,
Well, I
it
did-
really does save the town money when people recycle. It
I
really
put a
does.
question, when we go through the thing when it comes under transfer station, whether I put a question in there about recycling. The last
Oh.
time that came in,
Okay.
it was a big, the paper bag thing.
Oh, that was a horrible way.
You know, I think I might still, probably somewhere in my garage, I still have some bags I bought to use. But that then got voted down for people who didn't want to, I mean, I can understand.
Yeah,
They say we pay our taxes, why do we have to pay to,
exactly,
but that's one way to force it, but
right.
people don't like to be forced.
Right.
But then like some towns like, provide a recycling bin to be able, but they have trash pickup. So,
Well, we don't, and then if you get into trash, well, Dayton does trash pickup,
yeah, they do.
for sure. So then you got a expense for that.
Right.
So everything adds up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
They did do a comparison and it's still cheaper for us to have transfer station.
okay,
I
So
think
the
the
next-
3,400 is probably still about accurate. Actually, no, isn't there more than
Oh,
that?
there's more than
but
that.
we can find out the number,
So
I
let
mean,
me
from,
just,
We'll have
from
to
town
figure
clerk.
that out.
so that's an action item to figure out, because we know it's wrong, so I'll put a strike through it too. Less than 50 voters, I think unfortunately that's probably still accurate.
You think? I thought there was pretty good turnout last year.
Well, there's one year I know, but there's been a few years ago, I actually called my wife, I was at the town meeting and they need 44 or something, and we only have 42.
Oh,
And then by the time she got there, first of all, she wanted to know where it was, but then after she got there, it had already had gone over the number, the minimum number. I thought it was 44,
oh, yeah,
whatever we were right at right
at the number.
below.
I
and you
mean, it
couldn't
might be
even-
like, we might be like at 60 people that come now.
Yeah.
Well, it depends if there's, it depends what the issues
There's
are.
a hot
So why don't
topic.
why don't we just highlight this in orange, and
Yeah.
that's an action item, so
Yeah.
we can, maybe
Yeah.
we can ask for, the numbers for the past,
I'm sure Sue
we
can
can
give
ask
us
for the
the
last
numbers.
3 town meetings and see
See whether
what
it's a
the-
factor or
what
not.
what it is. And what the budget is it really still 7 million? I think it's more than that.
I think it's
Yeah, I
going
think
up.
so,
Well,
too.
most of it goes to schools anyway, really.
Yeah.
Exactly. Why 7 million is just school. So we have that. Okay, so this was me.
Okay, let me ask a question. Maybe you answered this, I didn't pick up on it. Are we, just as an overall question, we don't have to answer right this second, but are we happy with the topics? The major, there's like, what do we say? There's 8 major topics? I think there's 8.
There is.
I can tell you that they match up with other towns, with the same topics as other towns.
And I didn't
And
go
I have no
looking.
idea why.
I didn't go looking to try to find a reference that said
I think
comprehensive.
that page that I sent you guys that link to says why.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
No, that's okay.
Yeah.
As long
But I
as you're-
did look at other towns and it's the same thing, economy, housing, transfer stations. The same topics were listed in their comprehensive plans.
Okay.
So
Well,
I
you sent this one from that
The
gentleman?
agricultural gentleman, the website I sent you has a whole list of the comprehensive plan stuff.
Oh, no, are you talking about this one from,
Tom?
yeah, it was nice. I didn't, because I wasn't, because
Oh,
they,
that was the checklist for
It's-
comprehensive plan.
this checker. I didn't realize when I went to print that it was, since it was in,
Spreadsheet, Excel.
it was in Excel, I printed it 19
Oh,
pages.
no.
So that's-
Yeah, I printed it out.
So
too.
that is actually a
it's
spreadsheet.
not a bad thing.
No, it's a spreadsheet too, but that email I sent you guys has the page, and on that website was that checklist,
Oh, okay.
as well as the rules and laws and reasons for a comprehensive plan. It was
Yep.
a very neat
It was very,
website, and I
Yeah.
really liked it. I was very
yeah,
happy I
it's a
found
great
that.
website.
I think he should be our next meeting,
I know, yeah,
actually.
actually, that would be great.
Where is he from anyway?
He said he'd Zoom with us, he's from Augusta.
No, I know, but he is,
He's from the agricultural department.
so he's a state employee.
Yes.
Okay.
So we're not gonna meet, he's meeting with us for free. It's there, because remember I asked him to do the numbers for Lyman,
Yeah,
and we're being added to the live list? Remember that?
Yeah, well, I know, I sort of remember. I mean, it's all these committees are rolling together, to
I
be
know.
frankly, but,
So he's the one that told me by April we'd have numbers.
okay, I remember you telling us that. Yeah.
And so I was gonna, Dave's not here, but I would like to talk to them about maybe, it's kind of hard, because our next meeting is at the library. So maybe we should wait till the meeting after that. We have to get moved to the library.
Oh, at the library next meeting? Okay.
I mean, we still could Zoom with him there.
Well, let's worry about that. Let's go through this.
So. we'll-
I mean, you know,
Yeah, so my first, I mean, economy was hard for me. I had a tough time
Did you?
because, to promote the environmentally compatible economic development that broadens the town's tax base and job
Yeah.
opportunities while preserving the town rural and village character. I just asked right now, I think the basic, are you satisfied, yes or no, with others, basically a way to get us off the ground with everything.
well, we don't promote anything really. I mean, when you say promote, the word promote, there's nothing wrong with that word. It's just that the town, to my knowledge, doesn't go out and,
No,
we don't solicit businesses. We've had some, like the two businesses down there in 35 and 111 that
Yeah.
decided to remodel. And they did a nice
and
job
that's
on
why I
it.
think
Well, we
you're
didn't
gonna
go
have a lot
ask
of
them to
people
do that.
say, are you satisfied? They're gonna say no.
But how do you, I'm just thinking, how do you do
Thinking
that?
that we should change the wording of the goal is what you think, John?
I'm just saying that I don't think we have the staffing we don't have a development director that goes out and seeks business opportunities for the town by saying, okay, we have a great town here. Why don't you relocate your business here? I don't think we do that.
Part of what I found when I was going through a lot of the comprehensive plans and reading them and looking at other surveys I came across. And I think, of course, we just got a town manager, so much is gonna change
Yeah,
once the heavy lifting is done, where there is time for that. A lot of places focused it on a village center.
yeah, which we don't
And we
really.
don't have a village center.
Yeah.
And it also focused on making sure that it was very clear, like zones, industrial zones versus your residential. And we're kind of a mishmash Wild West
Well,
here.
We've got 3 zones, and that's an issue that the ordinance review committee is starting to look at, but that's gonna be downstream a while.
Yeah. And that's unfortunate, because that is a problem when it comes to comprehensive, is that we don't have a village center. And we are not delineating our industrial versus our residential and our.
Well, we have residential, we have general purpose, and then we have commercial residential. But commercial and that was changed because there were people that living there did not like the restrictions because when it was only quote commercial, because there was already residents there. So it was modified to make it commercial slant residential. So we only have 3 zones. Some towns have multiple zones.
Multiples.
And we have shoreland too, but shoreland is a different
That's
animal.
correct, yeah. But I think even like people are concerned about where certain businesses can land here in the middle of a residential zone.
And we've had some of that. We've
Yeah.
had some of that.
So, yeah, that's kind of part of the problem. The whole trickle down thing
It's-
is,
It's,
what do we do? I mean, 90, I don't want to say 90, I don't know the percentage, I don't know the accurate number, but the larger portion of our town is general purpose zoning.
it is.
And, there's a lot of places, you can go down Clarkswoods Road. And you can have cows on one side of the road, but you can't have them on the other side of the road. That's the
Same thing with
problem.
Huff Road.
Yeah,
Huff
Or you
Road
can
is
have chickens on one
residential
side,
and general
short roads
purpose.
and can on the
It's
other.
not,
and this is why we need the plan. But, changing that would be, changing the comp plan would be
well,
changing.
I
the
don't know that,
zoning.
I don't think that the comprehensive plan should have that level of detail in it. I mean, in the sense that, you don't want to start talking about necessarily zones in the comprehensive plan.
No, I definitely don't think that, but just take this, for instance, to promote environmentally compatible
So,
economic development.
What is
I
that?
mean, can we identify an area where we would want that economic development?
Yeah.
Well, we obviously are probably gonna want it
111.
under 111, and, it's kind of,
35 is kind of the same,
yeah.
because you already have the gravel pit and.
So I don't know, I just think that
Mm.
you're right, Dawn, to promote's probably not a
Right.
great word.
Support? How about support? That's
Okay. So
another weasel word.
I
I like that
support.
word, Dawn. I love
Throw
it.
that
I
in.
love it. Okay, so we'll say support and we'll strike out promote.
Yeah, because we're not really promoting.
No, we're not even closest.
Nope.
Sorry.
And by the way, just one other quick comment. I assume at the end of this thing, somebody who's got a lot better computer skills than you can take this and fix it up a little bit as far as the way the formatting is.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
have it all look nice
Yep.
stuff.
Oh, yeah, I did that for Charter.
Because,
They're not bad. I mean, it's pretty good, Dawn.
Yeah,
It's not a big
okay.
deal.
All right,
I thought it was great, actually.
I
Okay.
do have to add to that, though, a question to that. Are we sending this whole thing out?
We can't. My opinion,
I agree.
my opinion. It's too much to,
No, what I was gonna do is I was gonna create a survey, once we have these edits going, I was then gonna grab the question, like what we have, our questions and put them into just a questionnaire. I'm not, yeah, later.
to send a printed, I mean, if you to send a printed copy out to everybody would be probably pretty expensive. I don't know well, I mean, the problem is if you send one out, are they going to throw it away or what? Or are you going to give them a link?
I was gonna ask Lindsay if she would let me, I know how to do the MailChimp surveys and make it so you can click yes or no and then put input that you can create an online survey and then it feeds you back the results.
Mhm.
Kind of like we did for the Building Up Committee, how we got results back.
Okay, that's
Um,
good. That's good.
I used to do it for work.
Okay,
so-
well, I mean, but I don't think sending a hard copy of this out is a good idea.
No, I think that we should have it available to those that want to pick up a hard copy.
Right.
Like it's available, we'll have a little pile here.
Yeah, that's like
They
the
will
town report.
Yes, there's a little stack at the office, for anyone that wants a hard copy to take home and think mull it over. Everyone else, here's a QR code to bring you to the survey, and I should say, have the survey so that we can email it out, or people can click on a link and it brings them to the survey to fill out. So I think that's the best way to probably do.
That's the least expensive way too.
Yes, and then Chris, you can get people to share it on media and whatnot, and then, if it gets such as someone's email, forward it onto your neighbors, please, that live in Lyman, we want all input.
Yeah.
I
well,
also think that we should have a reference, like, when you break it out in the survey, perhaps break it out in the same parts, like
I was gonna
these are economy questions. But I think they should be able to go back to the town of Lyman website also and look at the comprehensive plan.
Yep.
And I don't see it.
I can ask them.
Oh, you mean on the, I don't think it's on there.
It's not on the website.
I haven't checked lately, but I
Yeah.
don't think it is.
We should have that uploaded before we send them out, for sure.
Yeah, that shouldn't be a big deal.
So, policies, that was where I didn't really, what do you ask a question about that? There was really no question I could ask that I could think of.
Wait a second here, policies. Well, wait a second here. Blah, 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 blah.
I could put a thing below this is, do you agree with the above policies? Yes or no? And then.
But
ask
then
for
you'd
a comment.
be putting that section in there, right? In turn, making it longer.
Yeah. And again, there's stuff in there like pursuing planning strategies to reduce traffic hazards and congestion in the commercial zone along Route 11. That's really not
I don't see how we can,
we can't
Yeah.
control that.
I don't.
no, the DOT,
Yeah, I don't see that either.
they have requirements.
Right, and I think even ensure businesses are constructed and operate in a manner to reduce community risk, promote life safety, and minimize environmental impact. How do we control?
The only way that's even addressed is through the planning board review.
Right,
And that also would, in theory, bring in neighbors if they were concerned about the operations near them.
right.
If they,
So I guess,
I'm gonna, the Route 111 I'm striking because I don't even know how we can state that.
okay.
Well, let's go from the top. Consideration should be given for a limited business category to allow for small scale operations that exceed the limits of a home occupation. I don't even know what that means.
that basically means, well, forgive me if I'm wrong, Don, tell me if I'm wrong here. So, basically, they're looking for
zoning ordinance with. Go ahead.
That's something that's not in the land use
See,
for
that's,
your zone, correct?
yeah, you have, it's defined in the, I should have brought my,
Do you want me to just put it in orange as an action
Yeah.
item?
anyway, it's defined in there what a home business is, and it has so many employees, and there's criteria in there. So, and you go to the land use table, and some items are allowed, and some items require site review, et cetera, et cetera.
But just even the way,
Site plan
consideration should be given. Consideration will be given, may be given, should is kind of like,
Yeah,
well, it should, but we're not gonna. I mean, that's.
Again,
Should
but
is that
if
one of
it's,
those words that I don't like.
I mean, this was the whole thing. I think that, to me, when I read this, this is kind of like what Lindsay was discussing about having like exceptions to our land use policy.
well, see, there you go. See, that, now you're back into, a little bit back into contract zoning, a little
Right,
bit, a little bit.
Right, exactly. And I don't,
That's the problem.
I mean, if we're striking contract zoning and this is saying this, that if there's no contract zoning,
You can't do it.
then you.
You're not, I mean, that is the problem. And again, the planning board is not supposed to have any discretion. And unless there's some weasel, which I hate to say this, but there are a few places in there, there's weasel words, but it says, but not limited to.
Right,
And so that gives you an opening a little bit. But if that use is not allowed in a zone, then the planning board is obligated to vote it down.
Right.
And where contract zoning was helpful was in a couple of cases where businesses, it allowed a contract between the select board and the owner to go forward with that business.
I see, yeah.
And I think the problem with that is a lot of people were under the misled guidance that the contract ended with the person that owned it.
Well,
I'm saying some people.
No, there is,
Yeah, there's-
see, in the zoning ordinance, there's an option for that.
Mm.
But the way the only one I've read recently was the one for our brewery in town, our brewery that's operational, which happens to be on Route 1 on Route 35.
Yep.
Not mentioning his name, but anyway, that one, it doesn't go with the owner.
Actually, I'm pretty sure the lawyer said in that meeting that all three of our contract
three of
zones, it has to run with the land.
You did.
I know, but it didn't have to. I'm saying there was an option.
Right.
In
But I
there.
think the townspeople were told that. And
Well, and
unfortunately, I don't
I
know
tell you, the
where,
planning
how.
board members, including myself, were, that was my impression, okay? Because
It was that it ended when the person.
when they changed over, the new
Right.
owner came in and said, here's my financials, I can continue this business, blah, 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 I have this experience level, blah, blah, blah. But that's not the case.
Right.
So that was, and I'm not blaming anybody, I'm just saying that there may have been a disconnect between what the planning board
Right.
thought and what
Yeah.
ended up getting approved
Yeah.
by select board.
So
But to me, this is saying, this is not,
it is.
It's not true.
it's not,
So I'm putting it in orange right now so we can talk about it when Dave's here.
right?
I think that's an action item we need to talk
Yeah.
about. I don't feel comfortable with it in here. So the policies really was hard for me. Allow low impact, which should be hyphenated. Allow low impact home businesses that are compatible with their surroundings.
Well, I'm not even sure what that means.
Not, well, not did I, that's why I couldn't come up with a question.
Because low impact to you might be high impact to me. If you
Right.
live next to me and you had your,
Like if you
you had your
decide.
chicken farm there and it was low
Well, I was
impact
gonna
for
say,
you,
Decided to collect feral cats.
Yep.
Rescue someone.
how about rescue rats from Portland, prom or whatever? Never mind.
Oh my God,
That's what
that
people
was
do, Dawn.
hysterical. That was
Do
hysterical.
you want me to strike that or highlight it?
I'd highlight it, but I
don't
don't,
see, but these policies really had me scratching my head. I'm like, what the heck? Review commercial zoning to ensure that current zoning guidelines meet the needs for future development. I still was spinning when I read that.
well,
I think that needs to stay.
yeah.
John?
I think that it's a good concept and it should continue, but that should be an ongoing process.
Right.
It's not something you do once because,
So what would you say? Continually,
yikes, continue. Blah, 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 blah.
continually review?
Continue to review commercial
Yeah.
zoning.
And that's true. That is true.
So want me to underline that so we know we added that?
Yeah.
Aren't you glad I'm doing this? So the next one is good, encourage local infrastructure
Yeah, that's a great one.
improvement in order
Right.
to attract and maintain
Yep.
business development, wonderful. And then ensure businesses are constructed and operate in a manner to reduce community risk, promote life safety, I don't, and minimize environmental impact.
Well, that's what you should, that's what the planning board ought to be doing.
Right,
Yeah, I think that should be another continue too.
Yeah, I don't see, continue to require building, or continue to, whatever, ensure, or,
so what, ensure,
I don't care what, I mean, something that leads into that sentence, businesses are constructed.
but then the whole, and operate in a manner, I mean,
Well, that's
What are you gonna
common
do?
sense
Are you
too.
it is, but you're gonna go inspect them?
Well, that's another
But
issue.
they wouldn't be given that permit to operate unless it was.
But they can change their practices as soon as you want them.
Well, there is
And do, I'm sure.
one thing that the planning board has started to look at is to add in, once you go through the whole review and assume that blah, 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 you take all consideration of everything that comes in of public hearings, et cetera, you go through the 16 standards, you put down the notice of decision, and then it has conditions. You can put in there, if the planning board wants to, a condition that every 3 to 5 years, the business may be inspected by the code enforcement officer and the fire department
I think you should,
and
I
electrical.
think that's a good thing.
I mean,
because-
it's not currently that's not a requirement in the ordinance, but the planning board has a discretion to put in a condition, and it's not that, I don't think the planning board's looking to make a lot of conditions.
No, I think
But the
that-
other thing is, if you say you have to do it every year, you don't have manpower to do that, or
No.
I should say
But,
person power.
say you're getting a
Right.
lot of complaints about a certain place, it gives you that power and authority to go in and say, are you operating to the permit we gave you?
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So
and
think
I
that's
can think of
where-
a specific,
I can too from things I've seen on Facebook.
yeah,
So I think that having that opportunity to be able to go in and just say, hey, this is not what we kind of agreed to, so we just gotta, we're having complaints and, a nice way of going in before feathers are too ruffled.
Right.
And, really, it prevents them from being sued, the town from being, it just prevents. a
yeah,
lot of-
and that could be
unnecessary
done just it could be done, I say, as a standard practice by the planning board, but right now there is no requirement to do that.
I
So
think it would be a nice requirement.
anyway, so I'd just leave something in there.
So that's okay, we'll leave that there. So strategies, this is where it was like, I didn't understand the first one, and then I
Oh.
thought that state had stepped in on this, so I didn't know we had to have it in here.
Well, didn't we, I thought the state,
Yeah.
I don't know whether we got any money or not, but I thought the state came up with a bunch of money to
They
improve,
They did, so I don't know why we had to have this in
did that help Lyman any?
here. Well, it was the No Kid Left Behind, Cover Me, Connect Me.
Yeah,
We had COVID,
basically it just,
make sure everyone had internet
right,
available
right.
to them.
How did they do that? They didn't do anything for us, did they?
Well, I think it started with, correct me if I'm wrong, it started
I don't
with them saying that who can use the lines, correct? Like the actual lines on the poles.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
Spectrum run the line, but so-and-so.
oh,
can
I
use
see,
it.
I see, I see.
You know what I
got you.
mean? I'm pretty sure that,
Yeah, I didn't know whether it helped
And
us.
then it was making sure like kids, because of Zoom with school, when they were
Right.
forced to
Remotely.
remote.
Yeah.
Or they had to.
Yeah, I thought really it was more for rural areas, more rural
We
areas.
did, it did help here, like, cause there was a list, and it was so long ago, there was a list that Spectrum had of roads that didn't have access to it, and they were supposed to get access to it
Oh,
with this program through the state. So I didn't, unless someone knows more than I do.
I don't know much
don't
about
think
that,
we-
frankly.
I think we can strike it.
Okay, and even investigating installing through-phase power along major roads. I don't even know what that means.
Well, I don't know,
A business would need three-phase.
I don't think we have three-phase.
I don't know, of-
But
I
how
mean,
could we- how
does
could
like
we-
Dunkin' Donuts
So
have?
how, why would we have to install it? If the business is going there, wouldn't they be the ones having the three-phase installed?
Well, I,
Or is it, my guess is they mean that we would look into installing three-phase to encourage business growth here.
no, I think the three-phase would have to be installed by Central Main Power down. I don't think, let me put it this way, I'm not positive because I'm not an electrical engineer, However, I'm sure the electrical inspector could tell us
Maybe Dave
what
knows.
parts of town have three-phase power, if any.
So let me put that one as an orange action item, because maybe Dave knows the answer to
Yeah.
that one of.
Or we could ask
phase.
Marcel,
Yeah.
would know.
Yep.
Yeah.
He would know,
Yeah.
I would think.
And why would it be necessary?
It's
for us-
necessary,
For the town to install,
Oh,
because that's
oh,
what this is saying.
Yeah, the
Investigate
town-
Installing, it's saying the town is gonna install
the only reason the town would promote it, I would think, would be to help businesses out.
Yeah.
Because if you have certain types of equipment, you need three-phase power.
but then we'd have to have certain zones. See, this is
And
where
that,
you
that
have
all
to have the
ties
conundrum.
back into zoning and everything else.
Zoning
And
where
plan,
you know,
actually
all
ties
of
back
this.
into planning.
You need, I mean, somebody decides I'm gonna put in a field of solar panels, they're gonna have to take it out.
I would think so. I don't
I would
know.
think so, too.
I don't
That's a
know.
requirement.
Yeah.
For solar.
And so you, yeah. And the power doesn't, it's not logical the way it comes in. But
No.
if you look at the lines as you drive by,
Yeah.
the way it comes, it goes down 35 and when you get to Walker Road, it
Yeah.
keeps going that way. It doesn't turn up the big, the turn. I
My
mean,
power comes from water.
Well, you know what the strangest thing is? I live on the road with the school. Do you know how often the school loses power? And the school should never lose power.
Right.
I'm sorry, but we've missed school because we had no power.
what? Don't they have a generator?
Nope.
Oh,
So they lose food, so there's
oh,
money,
no kidding.
everything. So you think about a power outages at that school. And for some
Holy
reason,
cow.
we are one of the first roads to lose power. No kidding.
So you must get your power some other,
We are not, because South Waterbury Road can have power, I don't have power.
and you're right off of that water.
And we're off 111 the other end. And that whole chunk will be dead.
Half of Clark's Woods Road, same thing. Half of Clark's Woods Road comes in from this way. The other half comes in from water.
Well,
But you
and-
think
but
it
the
would be
town-
something about the school having
I don't
power.
think that, well, I think that's something the school board will be looking at. You think I don't know what how much would it cost to put a 10,000 watt
Well,
generator? or
the
whatever?
Right.
school's so old, and so they're looking at needing modulars, man. Remember that whole thing?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, anywho,
we're getting off.
so investigate from accommodating current and projected growth, yes or no, and other comments.
Okay,
Everyone okay with that?
yeah.
Okay, develop zoning amendments to allow for small businesses that are not considered home businesses to operate outside commercial zones.
Contract zoning.
And that's where I didn't even know, I copied the wrong question. And I thought we needed to strike that if we're,
Oh, you copied it twice.
yeah, I did by accident.
Develop zoning amendments to allow for.
But that's contract zoning, so we'd have to go, we have to strike the contract, we have to.
Well,
I mean-
in theory, if the ordinance, if the zoning ordinance was revised, if the whole thing was revised, you could, that's sort of, I mean, there's nothing wrong with putting something like this in there, but to make it work, it's gonna have to go through like it says, the planning board. Actually, the planning board is not gonna, they might, but I don't think they're gonna get to it. The ordinance review committee could do something along this line.
This is why it's the kind of the whole.
So how do we do
Chicken
this
egg
one
thing.
here? Do we even ask this one right now? I mean, and
Well, it's a strategy. It's not, I mean, yeah.
so what were they,
Well, we could ask something like, are you in favor of mumble, of allowing more small businesses in, yeah,
Are you in favor of,
apple pie and ice cream.
yes.
mean, Most people are in favor of something until they find out it's next door, and then they're very much against it.
Well, and that's just it, like, again, the rat farm going. The
Yeah.
feral cats, you wanted, I don't know.
Well, we do have an animal, I don't know if you know this, but there's animal units in our ordinance
yes,
because we had complaints about people who had, I think it was roosters or whatever it was. There were some issues, and we went through and came up with an ordinance that had, I know it sounds stupid, but it says what kind of animals count for animal units and how many animal units you can have. I mean, it's in the ordinance because it was to try to alleviate the problem of someone coming up. I mean, say you're in a zone here and you're living in this nice and quiet and you're happy. Your neighbor then decides to put in chickens and they got a rooster at every 6 o'clock, every more 5:30 or 4 and that whatever it is, the
And some
rooster's
people
up there.
actually collect roosters.
Yep.
So then you could have a gaggle of roosters going off
And,
like
and so there is some, I mean, so that's how some of these things get in there because they're trying to respond to problems that are perceived, and some of them are real too.
So are you looking for allowing more small businesses to operate outside of commercial zones?
Well,
So
they
this is the thing, I know.
they can now,
They
Oh.
can if it's in the land use chart.
right?
And then, it
mean,
becomes
ju-
a question of land use.
So
Are
this
you in
one's saying
favor?
developing zoning amendments, and that's where it's like, that's what we're doing, or we already did it?
Well,
It's not, I would say that's an ongoing thing
yes.
because the zoning
Continue
ordinances,
to develop?
I'm sorry?
So they should say continue to develop, continue to develop?
I would say continued, yeah, maybe continue to develop. And
And the question would be what, though?
Are you in favor of,
Oh,
I don't know,
are you in favor of allowing more
small
businesses outside of commercial zones? Well, of course, we can have them right now,
So how about allowing more small home businesses?
Allowing more kinds,
more types
more types
of,
of small businesses.
yeah.
Are you in favor of allowing more types of small businesses, small home businesses outside the commercial zone?
That's a good question. And, I mean, and the part of that is and you can see it on the various committees and stuff. Some people want the owner to be able to do anything they want with their property.
Right.
Some people agree with that until that person is next to them and they decide to do something that bothers them. And then there's a problem.
And then
So,
you
but
have
that's
the
why
whole
you
thing,
have
could
zones.
have a home-based business, and then the guy can move to Florida, or woman can move to Florida and have someone running their business out of their own business. So is it gonna have to be owner occupied?
All right.
Just saying.
You can come up with,
Just saying.
I mean, there's all kinds of scenarios. And unfortunately, they usually occur.
Yeah, and well, that's what
That's
people
true.
have to understand, so like trying to control certain things, because again, you're
Right.
gonna say this, but how do you control it, how do you enforce it? And if you don't enforce it, that opens the town up to lawsuits, in my world.
Well, and that's
I
the
agree.
problem because you don't have enough, you really only have currently one code enforcement officer. And that person is supposed to be dealing with new businesses and new changes and everything else coming in, and then complaints about things. So you only have one person. You're not gonna, I don't see the town hiring another person. I mean, that's another big
Oh, it's huge.
expense.
Yep, so I like that question.
Yeah, so the next one, I didn't
Okay.
think applied to us anymore. Tools such as contract zoning should be utilized to
Yeah,
consider, so
strike.
I was gonna strike that one. 'cause
I
that's
would
not-
strike it.
For
now.
It is strike that. Okay, I was right. Strike out. So the next one was.
Oh, we do have some.
Develop design standards for commercial development with emphasis on preserving the town's rural and village character. So I asked two questions. I asked one, are there appropriate areas within the community for industrial or commercial development? And then the other question I asked was, if so, are performance standards necessary to assure that the industrial and commercial development is compatible with the surrounding land uses and landscape?
Okay, well, that's okay.
Is that too crazy?
There is, in the zoning ordinance, I'm pretty sure there's something in there about what businesses are supposed to look like. There's something in there on that. I didn't bring mine with me.
I
but-
wish I had
So is there something I should change in the way I've worded it?
mine.
Again, I don't know all I'm very, very dense when it comes to our ordinances for zoning and for planning board. I have
Well,
no
and most of these don't,
concept.
I just remember when, I don't know. I'm trying to think of when the Dollar General came up, there was,
Yeah.
somehow I'm thinking that there's in the ordinance, there's something to do with what the buildings are supposed to look like. And
Like you look at the Dollar General or Kennebunk and how lovely that looks, and then you look at the one here. And it's
this is a standard one.
Okay,
probably,
this is-
I assume.
yeah.
That might have been,
Yeah, I think those are fine.
Okay. But so we do, I don't, I mean, until Dave gives his blessing on all this, to figure our next meeting, we can kind of almost, I'll
Right.
parse these all
And
out
I'm
onto a
gonna,
separate,
I'll try to look at the,
I'll parse these out onto a separate document we're gonna use.
Yep,
And
Yep.
then we can go through it together and make sure we're all in agreement on what we're asking.
Yep.
And then the next one, I didn't know if this, I didn't understand, amend commercial zoning to allow for connectivity of new developments in the commercial zone. I didn't understand what that meant.
oh, okay, that's
Yeah.
maybe that back off thing again.
It is, I think. that
It
they
is,
want
so we're gonna strike
everything,
that.
yeah.
I think that should get out of
Right.
there.
Yeah,
Sure.
because when I was like, I'm just putting question marks, but I don't get it. And then this one here, develop ordinances to require the periodic inspection of businesses and commercial facilities for compliance with codes and statutes, and that's what we were just talking about, Don. That was the thing the planning board was looking at potentially requiring.
Yeah.
So, should that be a question?
You could say, do you support periodic inspections of businesses and commercial facilities?
Yeah, that's important, yep.
And again, the only thing you've got to watch out for there is the fact that if, you don't want to put in something that's so restrictive, but you can't, well, this is a comprehensive plan, but if it's too restrictive, it's never going to get done.
Right.
Right, yeah.
And you may not want it for example, if the business deals with any kinds of hazardous material
Uh-huh.
or solvents or something like an automobile, actually, the building up there that on 111 as you go towards Sanford, that on the left, there's one that does powder coating and stuff
Yes.
and something like that. Now, maybe that should be inspected periodically
Right.
because they're dealing with materials that could cause a fire or something like
Right,
that.
right.
Whereas somebody that's got a little
Stripping.
store or
Yeah.
something,
Or,
Refinished furniture.
or like the cannabis stores that are working with plants and disposing of some of the, if they have any chemicals going along with it, you know what I mean? Just like what's going on there.
I think that ship has sailed.
Oh, John, ship sail, sometimes they sink and sometimes
They come back to port.
You're right on that one.
Just saying, no.
Yeah, I'm just saying, I don't,
Just like Jesus meant to be. Oh, sorry, that's wine.
okay, where are we now? Going to go about education?
Education.
Just getting this
This was your
education.
bailiwick,
So
so.
was this me?
Yep.
Oh, jeez. It was
You
just like, really, it's hard because even what they support the efforts by the RSU.
I mean, that's kind of a no-brainer.
That's like a apple pie and ice
Right.
cream one.
Right.
Makes me hungry, actually.
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
yeah, and I don't know
So I just said, are you satisfied with the town's support and implementation of this policy?
are they doing it? I mean, RSU is?
Oh,
I don't know, I guess it's up,
The
depends on the
second one,
item.
they're not.
no, the second one they are not.
Okay, anyhow, that's a nice little goal there. There's nothing wrong with it.
Right, and I just asked if they're satisfied, because I think what we're gonna get is no.
Why not
Because
just
you're not doing it.
combine it into one question then, instead of two, because we're gonna try to squeeze it out? Why not just say, are you satisfied with the town's support?
An implementation
An
of,
implementation.
now listen, I'll pull from both of those things. and
Yeah.
put it
Maybe you can make one
down.
question.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, the goal is supposed to be the higher level thing, the policy is supposed to
Right.
be.
Right.
And then
but
you
some
have
of
the
these are specific
strategies, I
to-
don't know.
So, and then even the last one, support the educational opportunities for all ages provided by the community. And then I don't feel we're doing this either. Support the educational opportunities for all ages provided by the community library, parks and recreational programming, and
Mhm.
future community center. We're gonna have the community center still.
Yeah,
I don't think that the library is offering classes that we're not offering during adult ed, we're not offering educational classes of any type over there. And Parks and Rec is doing things for kids.
Yeah,
But they're not, they're educational, like when we build bird houses and they teach them about the birds. And there's some educational things they do, but it's not. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
I think this is a
Like,
good
we don't host a
spot.
hunting
Yeah,
class here. We don't host a CPR for kids class here. We don't host a babysitting class
no,
that other towns do. We don't do anything that would be of the quote
but
unquote.
who would do that?
Parks and Rec.
but perhaps that's the question.
What do you want to see?
Yeah,
Okay, so that'd be a what do you want to see?
more than would you support, educational opportunities through Parks and Recs programming.
Parks and Recs and the
Yeah.
library, and what programs would you like to see?
Yes.
Yeah,
yes,
ask for
that's-
some
As the- as the
concrete,
other.
ask for some
So we
concrete.
can ask what it could be,
Yeah.
because it's unfortunate we have to keep going to other towns for.
Yeah, I
a lot
think
of-
that's a good place to, way to.
Like, we laid all our eggs in the basket with Lyman, with Alfred, for, your town teams.
Mm.
And that just blew up in our face, like, my kid does water polo. Because
Oh.
Alfred actually did pot, they all.
I'm sorry, do what?
Alfred just almost disbanded, basically.
Oh.
Lyman's trying to bring theirs back, but this is years later.
Oh,
So there's
Yeah.
no parks there, there's no rec programs here for kids, we have to go to other towns.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be combined with Alfred, but then Alfred wanted all control, and
oh,
from my
oh,
understanding anyways, this is what I was told.
oh, okay, I don't know.
And then-
I'm sorry, I don't know anything about that at all.
Yeah. Okay, so then, yeah, and it's still the same thing, work with the RSU administrators and school board members to promote the success and achievement of the students. I do not feel we're doing that, because, like,
I don't know how you do that.
well, stay in touch with them. They don't.
Yeah.
You know, like, when some projects come through, I was the one that called the school and said, what's your limit? What's your student count? And there was a big project that was trying to come to town. And I contacted the principal here at Lyman Elementary, and I said, if we were to have a big influx of
Oh,
students here,
we'd
I
be
said-
screwed.
I said, well, how much room do you have left over there? She said, we have room for one more classroom. All the classrooms are already basically at limit educationally wise. We don't even have STEM at our school. We have like nothing over there. We have the oldest, it is the oldest, the high school and LES are the oldest schools in the district. They're in severe need of upgrade, update, and.
Do they, not to belabor it too much, but does the school board have a plan to go
I
forward?
don't know if they have a plan, but I've asked for the data and statistics and I have it.
Hmm.
But it's gonna hurt tax-wise no matter what, and we are on the top of what we've been there.
Yeah.
But this whole flat from the budget
Yeah.
mentality we've had for years is,
Well,
Yeah.
that's what.
Yep.
Well, you got the other situation, of course, as the population ages,
yeah,
they may be less interested in elementary education.
but you're finding a lot of the aging population raising their grandchildren.
I don't even say that.
I'm just saying, I unfortunately know grandparents that have had to take in
Oh, boy,
3 or 4 kids.
That'd be tough.
Multiple.
that'd be tough.
Multiple. So, and that's just
Depending on the
it.
age.
There is no control in this day and age with this, what's happening to families.
Hmm.
There just isn't.
Well, you can't,
Other
I mean,
issues.
and that's more of a societal thing.
Right? But that's why we can't turn a blind eye to some of these things, even with the silly things we're trying to.
Yeah, the social issues are
The
huge.
social issues are crazy and yeah, well, when you get us another story another day.
Yeah.
So, and this was the next one, provide funding for the community library to allow for educational programs and services. Again, I just asked the question, are you satisfied with the town's current funding of the library and programs offered there for educational programs and services? I think it's very difficult to say,
I think you can roll that into that one.
yeah,
Into that.
Combine that.
That
and
one
then
back.
I don't even know if this still exists.
Oh, that
because-
cousin school scholarship?
Yeah,
I
I don't think we funded it lately. I'm on budget, I haven't seen money go there.
Would that be in the, I didn't check the town report, maybe it's in the town report or
It
something.
could be,
I
and
don't
then, and then I asked, are you in favor of continuing to fund the scholarship? I asked,
Well-
are you aware of the horse scholarship? Because I want to know who knows about it.
Yep.
Number one, and then are you in favor of continuing?
What is it,
to-
is it for, just for,
High school student graduating.
so it's like $500 or something? It's
Yeah,
not-
something like that, they're supposed to write an essay.
And then somebody is, you would think the person,
That would be really cool.
I mean, wouldn't you think the person who was named for would have the funding there or something?
Something happened with that, and there was
Wow.
I can't remember the whole story.
I mean, usually you establish like a trust fund or something that
It
it generates.
And this is, I think, the sad thing, I think it was something like the scholarship was it $20, it was something like $20 or, there was some, I can't remember, there was some bizarre story, but we were putting money in it when I first started budgeting. I don't
Really?
remember.
Oh, we're not
money
doing it
going
now?
there
No.
In the past few years, they just don't.
Oh,
Huh.
okay. Well,
So that's one to put on there, I guess is also one to put in Origin, I can ask if it still exists at budget.
Yeah,
I have a budget meeting Monday, I'll ask,
yeah, I,
I'll have to remind myself to ask.
There's too many meetings.
I know.
Oh, this ain't people.
Yes, I know. Okay, Dawn, you're up.
No, okay,
Right.
fiscal management, the one thing I did note that there's a overlap between fiscal management and the other category I had, which was, I forget now, it's further down.
Uh-huh.
And anyhow, I'm just saying, some of the questions, so I'll go through what I had here just for the heck of it. It won't take long. Okay, I mean, plan, finance, and develop an efficient system of public facilities and services to accommodate anticipated growth and economic development. And I think maybe David actually had the other area, one of those areas. And I just put in there, I might have copied this from him. Should these goals include a Department of Public Works?
Yep, I love that question.
And there's two sides of that story too.
I know, and there's gonna be some screaming and some gnashing of teeth.
And then the goals, let's see here. Wait, how did that?
Expansion.
Oh, that's a goal. Okay,
It's still a goal. We're all in goal.
I added in the stuff. I see. Yeah, these were Dave's questions. I think I added them in here because it sounded like they were coming under fiscal management.
Because they overlap.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
We only have
expansion.
one school though, don't we?
I'm sorry?
We only have one school, right?
Well, schools, you're talking Mass, the high school, you're talking about.
Oh, yeah, okay,
You have to
yeah.
include middle school,
Not
high
just
school,
LES.
LES.
We'll have to, well, that's where most of our money goes anyway.
Massabesic, it only has room for 100 students. The middle school has room, even after that big middle school, they only have room for another 300 or so. But the biggest concerns right now are the high school and LES on the list.
Yeah.
I just got that information this year.
Okay, and then the other one, I think I copied this too, development of a municipal water department, water source. I don't really see that frankly, but
I don't either.
No, I don't either, but let's, I mean, it doesn't hurt to ask, you know, or do you want to say, are you in favor of?
yeah, are you in favor of? Yeah. And then the other, the one, serve the citizens through prudent and conservative financial management. I mean, I'm sure most people will probably say no, but I mean, maybe they will, maybe they won't. I don't know. I mean, everybody wants everything, but they don't want to pay for it.
Right.
So I mean, that's the whole problem.
Absolutely.
And so I mean, there's nothing wrong with asking a question. We'd probably get some negative comments
Or
there.
Or we're
Right.
looking for things that aren't necessarily necessary and
Yep.
we're looking other scary things, shoving them back under the carpet.
And I'm not sure where the goals and policies, let's see, I guess these are policies, aren't they?
So control costs through sound financial management. Are you satisfied with the town's current control cost and budget committee?
Yeah.
Do you want to say?
Well, it should be budget committee and select board, shouldn't it?
Yeah, it should be by the select board budget committee. The select board.
I mean, the budget committee really doesn't call the shots. You make the recommendations,
So I
right?
want to say that by the select board and the budget committee recommendations,
Yeah, that's,
because all we do is make a recommendation.
Right.
We have no power.
okay. Oh, yeah, here's, the next policy is,
We get paid. For my numbers, headache.
what am I doing here? I'm in the fiscal management. Oh, I just said, I think I added this one. I think it sounds my baloney there. Property revaluations. I just asked that question. I don't know whether that generated any.
I think it's a good question to ask on. I think that's a very good question. I think that.
And I copied, I think maybe I copied one here for this aerial mapping. I must have copied that from Dave, I think. I don't know. I think I threw that in here because it sounded like it was associated with
No, I agree with you.
property
You know,
valuation.
it doesn't hurt if it's asked in two separate areas, so we can get a really good read on things.
Yeah.
I think this is I still think this is good. I think this is great on. Okay, strategies.
Yeah, that I just added, I added town manager and budget committee in some of these places throughout. Capital improvement plan, I don't know that we have one. I mean, I thought we did, but I don't know where it is.
Gosh, I'm sure we do, but maybe.
I don't think it's on the website.
I don't think we've ever had one. I've never seen one.
I mean, again, it's easy to say you want to do one. It's another thing to actually do it
Do it, right.
because it takes a certain amount of talent
it
and
takes
also time.
volunteers, and
Yes.
we all know how that.
And then, I don't know, do we want, and I just asked the question, do you want to, we want another committee? I don't know.
I think, and I think it should be funded. I mean, I still think, not for me
I
personally.
mean, everyone wants state or federal matching funds, right? But you probably won't get it.
Right.
I don't know, maybe there was Dave, that might have been Dave's question I stole too, that's possible.
Well, doesn't hurt to ask,
Well, now Peggy's, where's your questions, Peggy?
right here.
Oh, okay.
So I'm
Do you have them?
just gonna fix your format, my friend.
Yeah, please do.
Oh, are they in your, but,
They're in the one on the screen. She had sent it to us earlier today.
oh, okay, no, but you sent one that had.
Yep.
The comp plan that, no, Michelle, your comp plan didn't include Peggy said, did it?
No, but Peggy sent it to
Oh,
us later
did she?
today.
Oh, okay,
It's
okay,
in the
okay.
emails, and it's up here, Dawn.
All right, I'm trying to read in two places.
Okay. Do you feel there's adequate, affordable, and safe housing in our town?
I think we don't have to answer something to that.
Yeah, so here's the thing. Not that I'm arguing to or for one way or the other. But it's really, I actually felt like I was going out on a cliff asking this question. I almost think I would strike it and just say adequate housing.
Oh, I see, I got yours, okay, I got it now.
Affordable housing has become a word that a lot of people don't understand.
I don't understand it.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think we have to strike that. I did. take it out.
And safe housing,
That's also a nine holder.
that's also,
What does that mean?
well,
What do you mean?
it's subjective.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, is there any criteria that says this house is safe and that one isn't? I mean, there's a building code.
I think that needs to be stricken. So just say, do you feel that there's adequate housing in our town? Support zoning that allows for mobile home and alternative models, e.g. tiny houses, for housing development to allow increased density. I wanted to put a question in here about allowing more overlay
Hmm.
area for mobile home perhaps, or, but I didn't because I don't,
Well, there's one you can put, continue to require that all homes built in Lyman and all mobile homes site in Lyman be constructed according to appropriate building codes and safety. Yeah, there's no question asked there.
Yep.
Yeah, I know, that's a touchy subject, isn't it?
What, mobile home?
Mhm,
Well, we have two mobile home overlay districts now.
mhm.
And
only really one of them are used, right?
yeah, the one, and then
Keywood.
it's done pretty well.
It has, it's a wonderful park, for sure.
But there were complaints there when they changed management one time because I think it had to do with sewer. But they don't own the land there,
Correct.
which is, we had, there's issues. Anyway, there's always issues, but it is pretty nice.
It is a nice park and, it's that whole, again, the NIMBY movement. I'd love to see more because it's affordable, but also,
But where?
right, that's exactly it. It rolls back
Where?
into,
You mean like the mini homes and stuff like that? Or-
not necessarily tiny homes, but mobile homes.
But even even with the tiny homes.
Even if we had one overlay, one extra overlay district, but
Where?
Because it comes down to this too. The movement of the generation, I look at some of my nieces and nephews, and my nephews are in their 20s. That whole generation is literally about minimalistic living. They are more about experiencing
Yeah,
life,
they don't want
traveling.
to take care of the lawn.
They don't want to take care of the lawn. They want small homes to live in.
and
They
that's
don't
why
want a lot of
ADUs is
possessions.
so important.
They don't want possessions.
That's why ADUs is so
They want
important.
to travel, see,
Yeah.
do, they want to work to travel. So they want their footprint, or their carbon footprint, because a lot of them are very environmentally conscious as
More than
well.
us, for sure.
More than us for sure. They want these small homes for the small footprint it's doing
Yeah.
on the earth, and again.
No,
to-
I can
to
see that.
travel.
I can see that.
And I think that we're being narrow-minded by not even looking at allowing a tiny home to go.
Yeah, the housing is a big thing, but that's why I kind of
It's
switched
financially-
gears.
I mean, I think that question needs to be asked about, would you be in favor of a tiny home subdivision?
Yeah, because you see, God, we just spent, I don't know how much time on, a cluster subdivision, which and that still requires the same number of acres, but you can have, the houses can be on smaller lots, but you have to have the same total number of acreage for that particular thing. So you're talking,
So
usually 5
the
acres.
question, if you didn't ask it later on, is are you in favor of changing lot size?
Yes.
That's got to be in here
That has to
somewhere.
be in here somewhere.
Well, I didn't want to be blatant, but I
If you
did
do,
say,
you
I put, so I went to land use for that.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So let's finish
So
the rest of yours.
let's
though.
just go down through here,
Yeah, let's
for
keep moving.
strategies, I'm sorry, wrong page here. Do you support zoning changes that would encourage limited residential growth? Do you feel there's adequate open space in our town? For the next one, continue to encourage cluster developments to preserve open space.
Yeah, we see that's that's a little bit of, I'm not sure if that's what you would call an oxymoron or not, but open space, you see, in a cluster subdivision, the open space is owned by the
By the
owners.
owner, by the
So
owner.
maybe they will let people come onto that open space, maybe they
Exactly.
won't.
Exactly, and
Depends.
that's what I don't know how to put that in there, because most people aren't gonna know that.
No, they
That-
probably won't. They'll think, oh, we have a cluster, therefore we've got these extra 20 acres here. We can
Right.
go over there and hunt or whatever, or hike. And the homeowners association might say, no outside people are allowed
That,
unless they're accompanied by or put in
Absolutely.
some rules.
absolutely. But it's not impossible for the town to acquire that land and has it as preserved, or is it possible? I don't know that.
Well, the way under cluster subdivision now, that the town doesn't own that land.
No, they don't, but I'm saying,
don't
could
know.
they?
You could change, yes, it's possible. You'd have to change that subdivision. That's one thing I will say. Oh God, people are probably don't listen, but the subdivision regulations are currently, and in the past, they were developed and approved by the planning board. They did not go to the voters.
Right.
So, which is, you can make a case against that if you want to, and you can go both sides of that.
Right.
But they're that way, they would be somewhat easier to change in a sense. But again, we haven't had any subdivisions. And we have two now. One is approved and one's pending, but we haven't had any for a long
Because
time.
of the size of our lots, that's right here.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean-
Dave,
There's two-
Dave's listening.
Oh, yes.
Oh, Dave's
Hi,
listening.
Dave. Let me see if he wants to zoom in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
So maybe we should just strike that. I'm gonna have you strike that question, Michelle, just because it adds too much to it and we'd have to get into too much part of it.
So which one am I striking?
Continue to encourage cluster development to preserve open space. The question underneath, do you feel there is?
Oh, continue to encourage clusters. So let me just strike this whole thing
Yeah.
for now. I'll
Uh,
just strike through.
yeah, just strike through the question.
Hi. Would you allow an easement? So would you allow an easement for
Residential access.
access?
Cluster subdivision?
cluster subdivision.
Cluster. Okay. Okay, got it.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
They like that one.
Okay, so unstrike, continue to encourage cluster development to preserve open space, Michelle.
Are you happy, emailed? Okay. Okay. I'll go through the text that I heard my phone going off. I wasn't paying attention.
Yep,
All right, thank you, sir. Do you want me to zoom you in or are you good? Okay. Okay, yeah, I'll start watching my phone too. I'll put it up on the table. Okay, all right, sounds good. Okay, bye. Okay, he sent us stuff, text along the way,
Okay,
so
enroll in.
we'll figure that out, yep.
Yep.
So do you like that one?
Yeah, I like that.
Okay, so that's good.
So
we'll just-
which one?
So.
The
I'm gonna-
cluster?
Yep,
Yep, we're gonna leave
Okay,
it here,
all right.
and then we're gonna change it to this question, which I think is a really good question
yep,
to
I think
ask.
so too.
Okay, excellent, good.
Yep.
All right,
Okay, and then, I did put a
Affordable
question
housing.
for the next one. Provide areas of high density zoning to accommodate various forms of multi-unit housing.
That would go under which one?
That's the, it's the last one in that section.
Oh, yeah, okay, well, where it says continue, are you under strategies or are you under? Oh, okay. No, wait a minute.
I'm on policies,
Policies, okay. The last
last
policy,
one in policies,
would you support exploring a rate of growth ordinance?
yes.
Yeah, that's a good question. We built up here in '05, towns did have that in place. Some
Can Dave
towns,
see this?
yeah, you know, he can't see it unless he has, because his computer's not on.
Okay, so I'm gonna read
Yep.
the policy out loud
Okay.
and then I'll read the question that I wrote. The policy is provide areas of higher density zoning to accommodate various forms of multi-unit housing. And my question is, would you support exploring a rate of growth ordinance that would cap the amount and types of homes built in our town?
Would you say and or? Because wouldn't that really be,
Well, my thinking in asking this question was just this. We know that growth is happening. Why not just get in front of it and say, okay, we're gonna identify the areas in our town where growth can happen
good question.
and where it can't. And then perhaps say, we're only gonna allow X amount of permits on this area. If there's more density allowed in one area, there's obviously gonna be more permits in
Right.
that area.
right,
And vice versa.
That's that's an explosive question.
It is
No,
very
it's-
much so.
I think we.
It's not a bad question.
I think she's right, I think we have to put it out there. You know what, we gotta pull the Band-Aid off.
Yeah.
We're gonna get the responses we're gonna get.
Yep.
Yeah, you're gonna get what you get. You can't control that.
Yeah, and maybe we'll be pleasantly surprised. I'm gonna be
Yep.
optimistic, people.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna say glass half full.
Yep. Strategies on housing, I really
Yeah.
didn't put anything in until down in, would you support a housing committee that would review issues that would impact the quality, availability, and affordability of housing in our town?
That's not a bad idea because
Yeah.
the one thing I will say from the planning, and it sounds like I'm not making excuses for the planning board. I'm just saying that the planning board's job is to take stuff that comes in, evaluate it in accordance with the
Yes.
zoning ordinance and keep it moving. You know,
Yes.
you can't
You're
sit
not
there
in
and,
charge of the whole cookie, you're in charge of the chocolate chips.
yeah, and you're not, and in the past, yes. In the past, we did start at the beginning and go through the whole zoning ordinance piece by piece, but we did not look at changing it tremendously. Looked at what are the issues what are giving us problems here? What's hard to implement?
Right.
And so there's two, you're not interfering any with the planning board, but they're supposed to be doing this X amount of work.
Right.
I think, I mean, you can pass this off to some other committee or something like the ordinance review committee or something, but they're all doing, I mean, there's nothing wrong with this.
Yeah.
If people are interested in doing it.
Right.
And, well, and that's just it, and maybe that is something that could ease some minds on what is coming to town.
Right.
You had a nice, pleasant, good working, diverse group of people that could talk respectfully and openly and agree to disagree or agree to compromise when it's looking at this
And
issue in the.
I think I would say everybody, most people who are following the news know that we need more housing,
Yeah.
okay?
Oh,
And we know that housing has gotten very expensive. There's lots of reasons for it. Doesn't make any difference. It is what it is. So where's the, how do you,
That's what
where's the
needs to
common
be-
ground there?
Right, and there needs to be arguments for both sides. But
But
you know,
making an
the-
argument over our schools are already in a train wreck situation.
well, they're gonna come no matter what. The
Right.
growth is gonna happen no matter what.
Right.
We can't shut our borders down.
No,
We can't.
we're gonna get growth somewhere.
So.
Question
it's-
is where.
The growth is
So
gonna keep
there should be
coming.
a timeframe attached to that, not an open-ended moratorium.
A time frame attached to a housing committee?
Do you see that as a permanent committee, possibly?
Um,
I don't know.
no, I think that
Ad hoc
I'm thinking
committee.
there should, I don't know if he's talking about
I think
your
he's
other
talking
one.
about the previous one.
Yeah, so I think which is for exploring a rate growth ordinance that would cap the amount of types of homes built in the. You could put what do you think? Would you want? to
Repeat
have
his
a-
question?
So he says there should be a time frame attached to that and not an open-ended moratorium. So are we referring to would you support exploring a rate of growth ordinance that would cap? Do you want me to type that in there? We can just.
Yeah, I would put
Yeah,
a question
Okay,
there,
why don't
put
you
a
put
question.
it in,
Time frame, or, is it for
I'm gonna put
limited
it-
time or?
Time frame
Parentheses
question
here.
mark?
so,
I don't even know I don't know whether the state would allow that anyway. With this push for
Housing.
more housing. I don't know if there are any towns that still have a growth cap.
Scott probably saw right.
I mean, I
Well,
know,
yeah, and I think that the purpose of this 1976 is to identify growth areas.
yeah,
They're obviously wanting you to identify farmland in rural areas and so on and so forth, but I think they really just want you to identify the growth areas. And I think, I personally feel like a housing committee would be good, just because we need to keep it all in check. And it doesn't matter, there's gonna be people on both sides of that issue as to whether or not to increase housing. We just need people to keep it in check. Because if you just say, no more housing is allowed in this town, and you don't allow the
that doesn't make
growth,
sense. Yeah.
it gentrifies the town
And
because the value goes up. There's so few communities with just 5 acre zoning. If you sell a house on a 5 acre lot, average Joe isn't going to be able to afford it anymore. So therefore, it creates a town where only a certain population can afford to live there.
And unfortunately, that population may be older
will
without
be
kids, but, or they could be very.
yeah. I
very
mean, really, you want
affluent.
turnover of houses.
Absolutely.
But we can't
do. And
You're not
different
gonna
kinds
get-
of people.
Right,
Because if you don't have those different kinds of people, there goes your waitresses and your firefighters and.
Well, that's the problem with the fire department. They have people that are working here can't live here.
But the committee would find the common ground.
Hopefully, at least there'd be an
Well,
effort.
we do know
Focus
that
point.
the acreage is a problem, yes, I don't
It
even
is.
know of another place that has 5 acre zones anymore.
Dayton does, but it's a very small, it's dedicated
Dayton is-
farmland,
It's
but
such huge farmland parcels.
it is.
It's very
Nobody
different than here.
sells their land in Dayton.
No.
They just hold on to it
Yeah, it
forever,
just goes
Well,
generation to generation.
which is great.
How about in Lyman? There's areas here that
It's true.
would make nice areas for subdivision and stuff, and the ones we get may not be the best land.
Yes, exactly,
Shall we say.
exactly. So,
Our parcels, yeah.
Anyway,
so
let's keep
yeah,
going. Let's see
onward with that.
how
So
much more we
then
got there?
we're on to
Okay.
land use. Maybe we can just, okay, we're still doing good on time, I guess.
Yeah, we're doing over enough time. So
Um,
strategies from, is that what we're
land
up to,
use.
or no?
Land use policies. On to the next section, right?
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, okay, that's a good question.
The
one
ordinance
about
review
regional
committee
planner?
shall amend, rewrite Lyman zoning to adhere and conform to the 2018 Town of Lyman's Comprehensive Plan. So I asked, would you be in favor of using a regional planner to assess the zoning districts and make recommendations on efforts to control growth,
Mhm.
not just go willy-nilly?
I did.
Jeez.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, we put it in there, like I said, I'm gonna put them all into a sheet for us all to go over one more time at our next meeting.
Yep.
Okay? Oh, no, that's perfect, I appreciate it. All right, thanks, Dave. Okay, it was that one.
Yeah.
So I got it in the right spot.
Okay, and then, but the next one on strategies, review zoning ordinance and zoning maps to ensure broad land use goals are being achieved and make changes to those boundaries or land requirements that would be in long-term best investment of the town, best interest of the town. And I just threw it out there. Do you live in a general purpose zone? And if yes, do you support a reduction of the minimum lot size requirement?
So can I ask a question? So what's the 3 acre zone?
3
General
acres is
purpose.
residential.
I'm sorry, residential, yes.
Except, and in shoreline has a lot of pre-existing,
Yeah.
can't say grandfather, I have to say
Yeah.
pre-existing lots,
Lot of record.
lot of record, and so that's a hodgepodge.
Right.
But residential is 3, general purpose is 5 acres,
And
and
commercial.
commercial is what, I can't remember what
I
commercial is.
thought it was 3, but I think Brenda said it was 5. I thought it was 3.
I'd have to look at the ordinance for commercial,
Yeah.
but commercial is commercial residential, basically.
So, the question though, if you're talking like, if people wanted 2.5 acre lots,
Mhm.
does not, and now impact 3 acre lots?
No, it
No.
doesn't, because it's a different zone.
No, but even so, you couldn't, where we find an issue now, there are people that have like 9.8 acres.
Mhm.
And they're in the general purpose zone, they want to split they can't
And they
split the
can't
lot.
sell a part,
And they guess we had a case of that, we said, can't do anything about that.
But then are you gonna have, if, say for instance, they went to 2.5, right, in
Mhm.
half?
Yeah,
So are you gonna have 3 acre people screaming because they can't go 1.5?
I wouldn't think so.
Well, I wouldn't think so just because it's in different zones. What you will have people, the problem with is the land use chart. Because if you change the size of your zone, the land use chart is probably gonna have
You
to,
have
for
to
instance, the animals.
You'd have to look at, what uses are allowed
Mhm.
in which area, and it needs a total look, really,
It
because
does.
I'm not saying it's too restrictive now, but it can be, depending on where you are.
Right.
Well, it is, I think, again, this goes back to the conversations we were just having about the kids nowadays. I sell more houses to people that think 5 acres is a barnyard.
Oh, really?
And they don't go beyond the end of their deck, let alone far enough to use a lawnmower. You know, what the heck am I gonna do with 5 acres? I don't need 5 acres. And I also have plenty of people that could live the rest of their life comfortably in their home as an elderly person
Mhm.
if they were able to sell a 2.5 acre lot,
Mhm.
buildable lot.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of different kinds of people
Yeah,
that need this. And again, this isn't a preference of mine. I'm not selling any land, so, but I think it needs to be considered and it needs to be put out there for both zones, both general purpose
well, I think
and
the
residential.
whole town should look at lot sizes for all zones.
Well, and also the purpose of the land when you do change it to a certain acreage. You know, it's like, if you're gonna allow 2.5 for general purpose, but then you're keeping the 3 acres as residential only. it's
Well,
like a pickle.
Well, remember, this is minimum lot size, so if you change, for example, I think my lot's 3.6 acres, okay, so if the minimum lot size in residential went from 3 to 2.5, that wouldn't affect me at all. I mean,
Unless you wanted to split it.
but then again, we're getting hypotheticals, but it depends how your house is situated on the lot, and it may not, people would be sort of stupid to ruin their house by,
Exactly.
I mean,
Yeah, that's a tiny.
you'd have to figure out where there was room for one, if there
Right.
was.
And you still have to meet all the setbacks and so on. and so
Yeah, you still have to meet
forth.
the setbacks, which
Exactly.
can be
More
restrictive.
frontage and everything.
They can be
Right,
restrictive.
Right.
Yep.
So I just threw
Good
that out there.
questions. I
I
like
think
that.
we need that. We have to have those questions in there.
I agree, 100%.
Oh, and you had one for residential zones? The next one?
Yes, I added the same thing, same
That's
question.
a good question.
For residential. And the only thing I really didn't put in here, because I'm a little bit ignorant about this, but see I don't know what number you're on, John, down there, but third from the last on that. 1, 2, 3, the 4 down from where we just were.
Yeah,
Revised zoning ordinance to provide a wider application of site plan review with appropriate performance standards for all non-residential uses. I was wondering if you felt that needed a question. Or needed to change it.
that's sort of what we're doing now, I think. Let's see.
It is, I feel what's happening now.
Revised zoning ordinance to provide for wider application of site plan review. I don't know, with appropriate performance standards for all non-residential uses. Okay, well, that's legitimate, but I'm not sure. I think the zoning ordinance, well, it says for wider application.
Wider.
I'm not sure when you say wider, what does wider mean?
Exactly. Do you want me to put this in orange?
Yeah,
Look
maybe.
at?
Yeah.
I'm gonna send this doc to all of us. So if you get orange, just kind of like we really need to talk about this or think about this or chew on it a little bit. Table it, because it's not critical at the moment, that it's not language that's really settling well with this.
Yeah, propose.
That way we don't get hung up on it right now.
Yep.
All right, so we got the rest of your questions. I like your questions there. I think
Yep.
those are really good.
Yeah, and some of that stuff, for example, it says performance standards should be used to assure that uses do not cause traffic. Well, that's already
Right.
in there. I mean, in the zoning ordinance.
Like, so it's orange. It's one thing that we're
Yeah.
gonna probably hack.
Some of that could be probably
Trim down.
trimmed.
Yeah,
Yep.
so we can do that and strike out whatever else we're gonna do. So this is Dave. So municipal government and services. So the goal was to plan for, finance, and develop an efficient system for public facilities and services to accommodate anticipated growth and economic development and meet the needs of the citizens both now and in the future. So the first, he has a few, this is the questions I think you were talking. Should these goals include future developments such as
Department of Public Works.
I'll spell it out.
I think I
Those are good questions too.
stole some of his questions.
Yep. But again, we're gonna put them into this doc, and if we see the question twice, then we can just strike the question.
Right, exactly. We can still pare this down. And this is just the first survey, because I think that this survey and the responses we get will spur on the next surveys we do. And hopefully our surveys can get smaller but more defined.
Yep.
Is what I'm hoping for.
Yep.
More goals, versus just wide open questions. That's my
Right.
thought process anyways.
Yep.
So yeah, he did ask those questions.
Enhanced Lyman's sense of community. Would you like to see town-sponsored activities? I like that question
Me too.
a lot.
Yeah.
Well, that's a
Would you
good
like
question.
to see some more participation in community activities from private clubs in town? Would you support a newly formed committee to help enhance the sense of community? That's a great question too.
Yeah, I don't think there's anybody that does that now.
Would you support wind or solar
Mm.
projects in our town-owned properties?
I have to ask it.
Yeah.
Gotta know, it's a hot
Yep.
topic these days.
Yep.
It really is. And I think that,
I don't
think
think-
we fooling ourselves, think people aren't watching what we are and what we are not asking.
I don't think, I'm thinking, I'll have to bring my zoning ordinance next time, but I'm not sure we have any rules about
I don't-
wind or solar in the
Wind or
zoning.
solar, I don't think we do. I think we have towers in there.
Oh, yeah, we have cell towers.
The towers
Oh,
and.
yeah, we have cell towers. Yeah, oh, yeah.
One other
I
thing.
think everyone has that, more of the slew of lawsuits over that.
We had an issue on that.
Yep. Create partnerships with local land trusts or create conservation committee land trusts to increase access for the public to land for recreation, to conserve natural areas and protect farmland. Would you support a fund that would help secure and or protect farmland? Would you support a fund that would develop town of Lyman-owned lands for recreation or for the benefit of the town as a whole? I love that question.
It's a good question.
It's a good question. Great question, Dave, for listening.
Would you support the creation of a conservation committee?
Do we have one now?
We do have one, there's one person on it.
What? I didn't know that.
Oh,
Emily.
Emily Bauer. She's a college student. Very bright
Oh,
girl.
okay. All
She's
right.
kind of working in conjunction with the Butternut Committee. There was a conservation committee many months ago.
Well, that's a good question.
So Emily's on it by herself for girls. We're hoping for more people to join her.
Mhm.
It's really hard to have a meeting with just yourself.
Oh, you don't have any disagreements that
I
way.
know. Well, if you do, you might want to rethink.
Yeah.
You know,
I might be arguing with myself about things.
Would
Would
you
you-
support an ordinance to register and protect existing farmland? And then the next one is create partnerships with neighboring
Yes,
municipalities for education of duplicated services, promote recognition, approach delivery of services. Would you support multiple agreements with other towns for
I think it's a
services?
fantastic idea.
Yeah, we only have the fire department now.
Right. Would you support the development of town of Lyman expanded municipal services for future growth?
Yeah, but who pays for it?
Yep.
Mhm. That's a hard one.
And then his next question down, conduct property reevaluations as required. Do you support aerial mapping to help with assessing property that would be used to locate potential violations and generate a larger tax burden on your personal property?
I'm gonna step away from that one, far away.
Yeah, that's an issue.
Dave's getting, the whole fire's burning.
Establish a capital improvement plan to determine the need and scope of improvements within the town with the annual funding. Would you support the creation of a committee for the capital improvement plan? Would you fully fund such a committee?
Do we have a capital improvement plan?
Not to my knowledge.
No, but I thought the charter said we're supposed to.
I think it is too, but I don't think we ever had one, have we?
I don't think so either.
I don't think. we
Actually,
have
I
one.
seem to remember Rod saying, no, we don't. And we're supposed to. But would you support the securing of a state or federal matching funded bond
course.
for capital improvements?
Yes, of course.
Whoop, whoop.
Good luck with that.
Next one is create a regular newsletter and increase the use of interactive social media and emergency notification to inform citizens of town developments and community activities, including a town cable channel.
Does that,
He wants to add that to that.
yeah, well, right now we have YouTube.
Right.
So I'm gonna put an underline of what he's looking to change, so we know that's being added.
Yep.
Underline, and black, so we know that.
Oh, well, there, in the question there, would you use the funds
Mhm.
that would be generated by the cable franchise agreement
Right.
for the above? I thought there was an issue with it, whether the town, I don't listen very much of the selectmen, no offense, selectmen, select persons, but I did hear something about, people were talking about the tax on cable, where that money goes. Does it go to the town? But the people just pay it, right? The people have to pay to have cable.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's money that you have to pay, and then it goes to the town that you're using to.
Yeah, but the whole point of it is they're gonna collect it no matter what. But, they're using the size of the road, so it's just, I think it's a good idea, it's a good way to bring money into the town. Spectrum is using the sides of the sides of the roads are being used to carry the service to places.
Yeah, but the people who are using the cable are the
But I'm
ones who are
choosing
paying.
not to use cable.
Yeah, and I'm
Which
I don't use cable.
So I'm not spending money on it, and there are alternatives this day and age, and that's just it. And yes, it stinks that everyone was technologically advanced, but,
either. Not everybody.
yeah. But it's like, there are alternatives.
Yeah, okay,
So
all right,
I
all
think
right. Let me
it's still
beat that one.
what's the word I'm looking for? Still a choice, the service you use.
Mm.
So I think to say you don't want to pay it when we're allowing this company to come and use our roads, but you want that service when your neighbor doesn't.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
You
yeah.
see what I'm saying?
Kind of like the canoe tax.
Yeah, but like Spectrum to come down my road,
Yeah.
I had to pay $6,000.
What?
You heard me.
Yeah.
And I had to agree to a 2-year contract with them. So
It's a lot of beer.
that's,
I hope you
yes,
told
it
them
was,
no.
Dawn. My beer budget was shot. So the whole point is, that was my choice. Should I expect my neighbors to,
Well, then couldn't they piggyback on your service if they
they
wanted
could, but
to?
it doesn't matter. I don't see them again.
It's gone.
Gone, sayonara. So I did run it. I had to have it for business, because back then I didn't have the option of
Right.
T-Mobile that I use now. But now I have T-Mobile, and I started with sign out of my
So that
house.
money's just down the drain.
It is.
Yeah.
But that was my choice. I still could have done
Yeah.
something different.
Yeah, you made the choice, so you had.
So
to pay
it's
for it.
not, I'm not gonna say I'm not paying extra because, it's part of the deal.
Yeah, I got you. Okay, all right. I got you.
I would love to see the town has to pay for my cable down my road.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
many moons ago.
Try to get a street light.
But isn't that with power though? I think that's legit. Isn't it called like a canoe tax or something? Where like power, if you put power in on a road, let's say, and you pay for the power from the pole all the way down the road to your house.
Yeah.
And somebody else comes in,
They have to pay for
they have to
poles.
pay
They do.
for X amount, right?
I don't
They have to
know.
pay a lot.
Yeah.
Because we
So, did you?
But yeah, we had to, even though the poles were up to a certain point, we had to have a few poles put in, we had, I think about that, we had one.
You have to pay for the poles
I think
were
I had
already
to
there.
I paid for 3 poles, I had to pay for the poles before me, it was $17,000.
What?
Even though they've been there. And I think that money went to the persons that put those in.
So it was sort of a rebate to them.
Sort of, yeah.
Oh, and that's
Yeah.
fair.
So,
I mean, sort of
yes.
fair. That's
But
fair.
You have to pay for those poles that were already there.
Yeah.
When someone else bought them to put them. It's a
Yeah.
basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. canoe
That's
tax,
how it works. So now if, I'm a dead end, so no one can, but say for instance, the road could extend past me.
Yeah.
And then we had someone going there, they would have to pay them and us
Yes.
and their poles to get to
Right.
where they're going.
Yep.
They're probably looking at $80,000 worth of electricity.
Yep.
Poles, by the time they get it in.
Well, I tell you, it makes a subdivision, look like a bargain. And, it is really, because when you buy the lot, when you buy that, you're paying for that as part of the
Right.
purchase price.
Right,
Right.
right.
So
Yeah.
anyhow,
Okay, so
Let's
last
keep
question
going.
on the page, or his last question, encourage landowners to consider establishing conservation easements or negotiating agreements to allow conditional public access.
Yeah.
Would you use taxpayer funds to secure such easements?
Not
Great
a bad
question.
question. That's a
Great
great question, because if you're building trails,
Or if they could, like we were talking about previously, if they do a cluster development, could we get an easement from the landowner for that open space in a cluster
Right.
development to put a dog park, to put a walking trail? The one that I'm actually thinking of literally is that project that's there now, that you guys just did site plan review on.
yeah.
That's right there by Sid Emery. So if that open space, imagine how much open space there would be attached to that Sid Emery forest and how much more it would create.
hi Dave. Yes.
Oh, he's talking about that franchise, I think.
That was my understanding too. Yeah. Exactly. No, I like that. Like it a lot. I'll explain it then. Okay, fine.
You got it.
So his was that spectrum money is being collected no matter what, so
Yeah.
why not take it and put it towards communication for linemen? Newsletters or cable channels, that's what
Something.
we want to do.
Something.
We have the YouTube, but enhanced YouTube or more laptops to do more committees, more YouTube channels, whatever it takes. But
Mhm.
anything to get more and more communication to the lineman resident.
Yep.
Okay,
All right.
so one of these,
Where are we now?
he's a lot of other comments, and then we get down to the next question he asks is install water supplies for rural firefighting to meet the most current.
I thought it was NFIP, but on NFPA standard 1142. Yep. I like it.
Yep, that's a good one.
Yep, next one.
require future subdivisions to provide an adequate water source or install residential sprinklers. Isn't that already happening?
The subdivision regulations require sprinkling for new subdivisions now.
So,
Where are you? I'm losing it. Oh, here it is, right?
Bottom of
Yeah.
page 16.
so are we gonna have to tweak that question anyways?
Yeah, we're gonna have to tweak that a
Yeah,
little
I mean,
bit.
they do.
So, because it's already happening, right?
Yeah.
So take it out.
So provide, so require future subdivisions to provide an adequate water source.
Or, and so, yeah, that's already been, that's already a requirement in the subdivision
So how about
regulations.
require future subdivisions to provide adequate access and turnaround areas for the emergency vehicles? Is that
And that's already in there too.
So do you want me,
I think you take that one out, frankly. We can,
okay, so he asked the question though.
Oh.
So,
would you support additional costs if a hydrant, well, the only thing is now, there is, if it's a subdivision, they're required to have it sprinkled, residential sprinklers in there, and so you don't need to have, I mean, I guess,
No,
I'm trying to think
have it.
whether you could ask for a, if
So
you,
how about we reword the question totally then, not the question, but the,
I have to-
so.
I didn't bring that with me
You're
either.
not gonna see requires, so subdivisions, that would have to be totally reworded, that whole thing.
Yeah,
I think that needs to be removed. Both that, everything in black in there, I think needs to be removed.
yeah.
But he asked some good questions though, that's the problem. Is that now, you know.
Well, we're already supporting, well, the way it is now, we're already requiring the homeowners, if they buy the home, they're gonna have to pay for that sprinkler system that's in their home.
Okay, but like you're saying, if they can't, you know, would they fund a hydrological study for potable water?
Oh,
I'm just gonna leave that question hanging out there.
okay,
and see if I
yeah,
can
maybe
stick it
that could be,
somewhere else, And I'll strike the rest of that. Does that
fit
make
in
sense for now?
someplace else.
I'll leave it there for now. because
Okay.
We're gonna go over this together one more
Yeah.
time.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, this question about the development municipal services,
Uh-huh.
that probably is redundant.
I think it is.
So strike the whole thing.
I think so.
I'll strike the whole thing. Again, we can review it together. I agree, it's very redundant. Encourage the development of a community center to promote educational and social activities. Would you support expansion of the town hall also to be used as a community center?
Well, don't we have a town hall that's going to be expanded, right? Or at least under the ARPA funds? Or they're working on it. I don't know where that stands right now.
Oh, no, maybe he's on.
Right.
Dave knows, he's on.
But I think also, not only that, but I think, you know, should there be, I mean, yes, the town halls could be used as a community center, but really how much of a community center can it be used for when you have meetings almost every night?
That's a good question too.
You would need a separate building completely in my world.
Yeah.
Or would you, I mean, maybe second question would be, or would you support the complete building of a separate community center?
Yeah, I don't know. For example, I don't know how much extra room the library has there, whether there's room to add. Probably there isn't enough room
Well,
there.
also, they're not even really technically in town, they're their own organization. You know, Bunganut, I go back to Bunganut.
Yeah.
Because it was 160 acres there. There's already the Nathan's Ford area for a community center.
Yeah.
How about, would you support, a community center?
Oh,
Would you support,
Or would you support a separate,
the creation of a community center?
would you support?
yeah, I think that would be. I mean, at one time, that was a thought about using part of Cousin's school, I think, at one time. That was back a ways though, before it morphed into what it's morphed into.
All right, so I just put, I don't know
I
if you
think
see
there
it
was.
up there.
Yes.
That way it's more like, you know, you're gonna get the yes or no, or like, you're gonna get Because, I mean, it's a lovely thought to think, I mean, I feel like,
Wait.
looking at the plans and looking at the expansion for the town hall, I already feel like we're already outgrown it. I was thinking about the amount of meetings, like now we gotta go to the library to do the one on the 8th, and, you know, there's a lot more committees being formed.
Yeah, and then it's a matter of,
And then
where
how
do
do
you
you
meet?
stream all these
Where do you
committees?
meet? And then all
See what
that
I'm
stuff.
saying?
Yeah, where do you meet?
And you would need like the community center to be almost like a room that can be divided.
Yeah.
There's 2 rooms there, and hopefully there's still a smaller room for small committees. But you still are gonna have those used very frequently, so how does the community ever have a bingo night, or how does it have a CPR night? How
What,
does it
yeah, what you
have-
need is a space that's open that you can do it
You
with.
need a Parks and Rec building that,
Or, for
Yeah.
example, if you had part of the, like the school or something, but then
Right.
you've got issues there because you have to have people
Security.
support and all that stuff.
but you have, like, Parks and Rec now has community center, and you can have cribbage on Wednesdays for the elderly, or bingo nights, or, you know, we're gonna play a movie for, 50 plus. Picnic inside at the community center, bring your blanket and watch a movie, bring
Yeah.
your libations.
There you go.
Oh, Dave's trying to get on now.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
was
have-
reading this question, see if we missed anything.
Yeah, we'll let him, we'll
You
do
see,
quick.
where's he, how's
I'm
he?
gonna boot this up real quick.
Oh,
Hey, you wanna text him and tell him?
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
oh, yeah, keep me up.
I know, right?
I don't think Dave is in favor of this aerial planning, aerial mapping.
Okay.
Oh, it's aerial, by the way. It's,
Recording in progress.
Hi, Dave. Hi, Dave, can you hear us? Hello?
oh, God, you guys killed me.
Let me see if he's still connecting. He's muted, hi.
Hey, Dave, can you hear us?
Hey,
Hi, Dave.
how are you?
Good, how are you?
We're here.
So, obviously, I was listening the whole time while I was traveling.
Yep,
But I don't, was I delayed? Like I
Yes.
delayed?
Yeah.
Yes.
What part of the meeting? are you
Yes.
yeah, right now we're doing your questions and we're on page 17.
on? Okay, so it was pretty close.
Yeah, it wasn't too
That
bad.
wasn't too far. You were probably like 3 questions behind us.
Yeah.
So we just got to, we're down to support the implementation of GIS technology in mapping the town to ensure accurate data for private and publicly owned land and infrastructure.
I think aerial has an A in it, by the way,
Where's,
isn't it? Or am I mistaken?
Where are we? No, you're right, that's right.
ARIAL.
ARIEL.
That isn't right, is it?
no, it is.
I think it's A, isn't A, somehow it jumped,
ARIAL.
yeah, it jumped out of me. I'm
Yep.
just, one of those things.
So do you support aerial mapping without a townwide vote to pay for and implement over private land?
Sounds like somebody's not in favor of that.
No, I'm just putting it out there. I know there's a lot of.
There's a lot, yeah, there's a lot of hubbub about it. You can ask the question.
And that actually, that aerial mapping, the only, I listened to the presentation, I don't know what, for some strange reason, I was here at a select board meeting. I wish I didn't, but, I listened to the presentation. The guy made a good presentation, but they only do that once a year. And he's trying to tout all the benefits for it. I don't know that, I don't know. It seems like
I thought it was a hefty price tag for what?
I didn't know what the price
It
was.
was like $14,000.
Oh, for just one year?
I think,
Yeah, but a contractor.
Oh, contracts, you're obligating the town to pay, 50,000 or whatever it is.
yeah, I just thought it was a lot of money.
Yeah, I don't know, but they just do it once a year, which, so whether the benefits are that much for the fire department, or I don't know. I mean, because the guy was touting a lot of benefits that seemed like they were marginal to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish you could do something like that with satellites, but I guess you can't get the resolution from satellites, or at least the ones that we have access to.
Right.
I think could probably look into your bathroom window now on satellite. Not that they'd see anything in my bathroom, but anyway.
So Dave, we were on, the next session we were going to, but there was no question, there was nothing in red, was roads and transportation.
Oh, was that my,
Yeah.
oops?
Well, Dave did a lot on,
I thought I finished my homework.
You
You-
did.
you
No, he didn't.
almost.
Oh, Don Hernan, you almost finished your homework. You did. You forgot the roads and transportation part.
yeah, I copied some of Dave's
Oh, no,
stuff.
no, I sent that in.
Yeah, I don't have it.
The versions we have don't have that.
Who did I send it to? I thought I sent it right to you, Michelle, no?
You did, and I uploaded it, and then I added my tweaks, and then Peg added hers, but there was no input. If you have it again, you wanna send it, I'll copy and paste and drop it in.
Yeah,
That's gonna take
I don't.
some skill here.
Some brain power.
Well, did Dave have,
Well, the challenge is on.
did Dave have three? Sir, three?
Yes, what, the principal took me to task.
Oh, okay, I thought we all
Well,
had.
you know what, we can skip over that one right now, we could go to Dawn's section. 'Cause
Yes.
Dawn
Yeah.
has solid waste.
I
Yeah.
copied a lot of stuff that
So-
Dave had, actually.
I gotta go use the ladies' room, so Peg, do you wanna, you're just
Sure.
in here, if you need to
Sure.
edit or whatever, I'll be right back.
Okay.
Do you have this solid waste part up for you, Dave?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, so Don's questions for solid waste, he said admittedly that he has copied some of your stuff.
Yeah.
I thought I recognized some of the questions.
Hey, the plagiarism is the sincerest form of flattery. No, I can go, yeah, well, I can go through that. It's, I don't know, I just said, the first one was conduct periodic reviews, et cetera. And I just saying, would you be interested in being informed of the current rate of recycling through a sign? I don't know. I couldn't think of anything else to say. I don't know what it is now.
Yeah, I asked the committee if they thought we should ask Amber's thoughts on it since she's dealing with,
Yeah, we should ask her. Maybe. I think we should really,
Yeah.
because she's the one who's dealing it with the select board.
Ask him.
yeah.
Yeah, and anyway, but that was the only thing I could think of. Do you want to know what it is? I don't know what it is right now. I understand that Michelle was saying earlier that she understands that the recycling, there isn't much of a market for that anymore.
Mhm.
And that maybe some of the stuff that we're recycling might already be getting incinerated. I don't know.
Yeah.
If they can't get rid of it, if they can't, so I don't know where that stands, but maybe Amber does. And then,
Yeah, I think we should make a note to have her.
yeah, I would suggest asking Amber to look at all these, but anyway, all I said, the second one was, I just said, I said hazardous waste disposal, I added that word in, and then, do you know how to dispose of hazardous waste? I just wondered whether people do or they don't.
I don't think we do we?
Well, I don't know how to do it. I mean, I guess I could look it up. If I don't have any hazardous waste as far as I know.
Well, I'll give an example. Needles.
Oh, needles. Oh. Well, those you mean like hypodermic needles and stuff?
Yeah.
Those you would take to the fire department. Usually they have a box in there that you can put them in, I think.
I don't think so.
You don't think so? I thought they did.
Do you
What?
know how to dispose of needles?
Well, I know what you're supposed to do when you bring them down.
Throw them in the dumpster.
No,
No.
no, you need to, like, take an old laundry detergent bottle, and you put them in there, and then you have to wrap the tape, you have to wrap the knob with duct tape,
Really?
and, yeah.
Doesn't say that up there.
Well, that's what they start you to when you have to inject yourself with things.
I'm sorry?
When you
My
buy injectables at the pharmacy,
Yeah.
they tell you that.
Oh, no.
Well, I will tell you
You're supposed to
that
needle.
I have a thing from the pharmacy. They give you the shots container every time. You want a shots container? Sure. Get a shots container. I brought it to the dump and they went,
Really?
Oh,
Well, maybe they're being trained wrong, 'cause it's supposed to be taped up, because it's medical waste.
oh. I thought you turned them into the fire department where they had a,
No,
They go to the dump, but they're supposed to be wrapped, they're supposed to be kind of marked.
oh, I didn't, I'm sorry. I was on it.
Fine, because it shows it's medical waste. Under sharps container,
maybe,
it probably says
maybe.
needles or something.
Interesting.
So where were we there?
We
We
put
just
on
start-
that top one, would you be interested in being informed of the town's current rate of recycling through a sign on the transfer station newsletter?
I couldn't think of
We
anything
wrote
else.
to ask Amber
What's that?
about.
Whether
asking-
she thinks that's a good idea
Oh,
or,
God, she would love that.
because right now, I don't know what the rate is.
She asked them, she wanted a big magnet sign that sticks to the dumpsters that tells you the money you save.
Oh, yeah, that's a great idea.
She's been
Yeah.
asking them to do that.
Why don't they do that? They don't want to do it. All right, never mind.
No, they do, they just don't get around to doing it.
They're fixing to do it.
Yeah.
Yes, so it's on the radar. but
So
she
we
did-
should leave that question.
Yes,
in.
Yeah,
that's a
okay,
very
yeah.
good one,
Okay,
very good one,
all right.
excellent question.
Well, okay.
Oops.
And hazardous waste, I guess I don't know. I just didn't know how to.
So, maintain the town, is that the next one we're on, maintain towns?
We read that one, and then on the we're on to recycling of materials, shall be the major focus of the town.
I don't know where the town solid waste plan is,
I don't think we have one.
because I looked for it on the town website. I did not see
It's
it
just
unless
really
I
weird,
missed it.
it's really weird, the comp plan says we have one, but we don't. Or is it in the comprehensive plan, and we just don't know it?
Yeah, that's a question.
So I'm gonna put that in orange, John,
Okay.
orange.
Oh,
Okay, I just sent it to you, Michelle.
All right, I'm gonna take a peek, see. So John, I'm just gonna go underline what you got.
okay. I want, this is pretty quick. This one here is pretty fast.
Okay.
In fact, there's only a few more.
The strategies,
Yeah. It says, coordinate the programs for hazardous waste disposal. And I said, do you support the continuation of it? And like volunteers are currently needed. They're asking for volunteers.
yes.
So I don't think that's an operation anymore. Then I modified the next one where it says construct, it says, because right now we do have well, it's not year round. We do have a swap shop there, swear.
Yeah, the share swap shop.
Yeah, and I just made it read, continue use of the building for exchange of used items, comma, the share swap shop, because they don't do it in the winter. It's closed up there now. And I just asked, have you used it? Do you have any recommendations to improve its functionality? I don't know if it works or not. I think it does.
It does.
That's-
My basement could be a swap shop.
I got a nice shelf in there.
And then the other thing, I don't know, I think that, good luck with that, man. Implement a townwide pay-as-you-dispose program or other incentives. And I just said, you support a paper bag, because people really raised heck about that
Oh my
last time.
gosh, I remember that. Oh
I
my
do
God.
I
remember
don't.
it as well.
I can go either way on that. I don't
Dave
care.
sent his, looking right now at his to see if his.
I have one on Dawn's too, on strategy.
Okay, Rose-
Sure, go ahead.
What was that?
I gave it to Michelle. if you
Oh,
want
okay,
to-
okay, good,
So,
good. Add it in, whatever it
We
is.
I want to find where we left off here, so.
Road
we did-
transportation.
Where are we? Wait a second, I'm finding some sort of house here. Okay, we already did that one, right? Scroll. And roads and transportation, was that the one I was missing?
Yes, that's the one
Yeah.
Dave just sent.
Okay, it's the one we just did?
One Dave just sent.
Oh, that's what we need, the part that we
Yep.
needed?
Yep.
Okay, so let me grab, I'm just gonna grab this stuff so I can get into the document. real quick. One second.
Oh,
So. Roads and transportation, so. Let's see, plan,
Yeah, there you go, just drop it.
okay.
oops. Oh, paste. I just have to put it on ground. Oh, come on, butter. I'll fix the format in there.
Yes.
Just move it down.
There you
We don't have to mess with all that fun stuff.
go. There you go.
All right, so you wanna read these, those are the fun changes?
All right, to plan for finance and develop a road and bridge management program that minimizes safety hazards, maintenance, and operational costs while enhancing economic growth. And his questions were, would you support a partnered bond with the state and federal government to finance and maintain town infrastructure?
Ooh,
Baby, that's
it's a
great
tough question.
Would you consider raising taxes to finance and maintain town infrastructure?
Hmm.
Would you consider a combination of a partnered bond with the state or federal government and raising taxes to finance and maintain infrastructure? That's another good question, for
Yeah,
sure.
that's good.
Yeah. So let me see what's the door. What is it?
I like it a lot.
All right, this is bicycling.
Policies.
So consider bicycle or pedestrian safety in any future public road construction and reconstruction.
Yeah. There isn't any now.
There isn't any what?
Bicycle, the roads even.
Exactly. So
third-
as we, or as the town, you know, repairs roads, that's, and it may be 200 feet of road.
Yeah,
During that 200 feet,
Yeah,
make a path,
a bike path.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. I mean,
okay?
people
So
do bike, it's
eventually,
scary.
you'll have all these perforated lines, if you see what I mean.
yeah,
And then we can just put them all together. And,
Yeah.
you know, you have your pathway, but
Right,
as you're creating these roads or maintaining the roads, at least consider
Yeah.
future pedestrian or bicycle paths to be installed.
Well, I think specific roads as well as where we have public access, like Kennebunk Pond Road, definitely
Yeah.
means something where, I mean, poor Benji's a moving target.
Mm.
But you know, you have the kids riding their bikes to the lake or walking to the lake,
Oh,
and it's
you know,
so
It's pretty flaky.
scary.
honestly though, the space between the end of Kennebunk, South Wanborough end of Kennebunk
Yeah.
Pond Road and Verna Lane.
Yeah.
That space right there
Yeah.
with dump trucks is so scary to me.
Yeah. It is.
So scary because that's where the bikes go, South Wanborough Road.
Yeah.
All the time.
Oh, yeah. It's
And that
crazy.
is such a narrow space.
yeah, that's narrow. I don't like that at all.
I don't like that at all.
I don't know what you do about it.
I agree, Dave. There's something needs to be done.
Yep.
Yeah,
For sure.
That's a good question.
And there's a lot of people that love to bike.
right.
A lot.
A lot.
I think it's becoming even more so
Yeah.
these days, for sure. Okay.
Would
And
you like the path to be
we,
gravel? Would you like the path to be asphalt? Very good questions. Can we
Yep.
grab the other stuff? Just other comments. Like that. I'll do that after. I'll do this one. Oops, got carried away there. Where was I? Here we go. Here we go. Let's develop the street over here. Oh, I hate when I do that.
Mhm.
I didn't want to read what I tweet.
Sure. We are develop street and road designs. Would you consider updating street and road design standards? Woo-woo. Would you
Yeah.
approve the town would you approve the town to consider taking over the responsibility of any road that is updated to the town's accepted road design criteria?
It's a good
That-
question.
That is a very good question.
Excellent
That is a
question.
very excellent question.
And I mean, it's really kind of like,
Well, right now you got to vote it in, right? Or is it voted or the select board? Doesn't it have to be voted in a town meeting? I forget.
For what?
To accept a town road.
I don't know.
I would think that,
I would,
well, first, I think that the town would have to give, because we stopped this practice a while ago. So the majority of the people would have to give the select board the purview
Yeah,
to sign off on something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, right now, the planning board's requiring any new subdivisions to meet town road standards, and there's
Right.
the question about the wording in there, maybe the wording isn't as good as it could be in their subdivision standards, and I know one developer was trying to sort of, shall we say, not do that, but I don't think that's gonna go anywhere. I think we're gonna hold fast with that requirement, at least I hope so. And because the town never,
That's what requirement?
to have the subdivision roads meet town standards.
Well, they have to meet town standards.
Yeah,
Now-
I'm just saying the wording in the subdivision regulations could be a little better. That's my point. But yeah, we're requiring that now. And I also would say that, as you probably know too, once the subdivision's finished, the town probably will never touch those roads again.
Right.
Because there's not enough money to keep the regular roads, the main roads going. I mean, it's very hard to, anyway, since there's not enough money. Anyway, 2 cents.
Yeah, you just, other comments and suggestions.
Yes, that's
That,
it.
that is all part of our future, view of what this town is gonna look like in 10 or 20
Yeah.
years.
It is.
With maybe accepted roads, maybe with the DPW. You know, we don't know, but we should talk about it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, totally.
Well, if we just have, I think, I had said this before, that it seems as though having one street design standard for every kind of road that
It's a
goes
cycle.
is kind of. why
Well,
not?
that's what's in the, God, that's what's in the, it's in the road standard. Whatever, I didn't bring all my books, but it's in there now. There's a lot of detail in there. I'm not sure where that all came from,
A little
frankly.
Too much.
Yeah. Well, and
Just
then
saying.
that could be, that might have been copied from some other place. I don't know where it came from
But I mean,
specifically.
like Waterboro has private. They have a
We
standard for
have
private,
a lot of
standard for
information in there, a lot of information. And it's not easy to follow. It could be revised. But
south.
again,
It needs to be.
who the hell's
that's
gonna
for
do it?
sure. Yeah,
That's the thing.
yeah, for sure.
So,
Yep,
So I think that was it, peeps. We made it through.
we made it through.
No,
So you said you had another comment on something,
no,
Don?
I have the next one down. The highway system shall appropriate,
Wait,
shall be appropriate.
Oh, yeah.
oh,
Here we go.
yeah.
Yep, sorry.
good luck with
Here we
that too.
The highway system shall be appropriate for existing and projected needs
That's just a
with
policy.
respect to the natural environment. Natural features shall be protected. Since any highway is the responsibility of the state, should this be changed to town roads, not highway systems?
Yes,
Yes.
So.
Definitely.
Sure.
So the town, am I the town roads?
Yes.
yeah, because if it's state, we don't have the,
Yeah, we don't have any.
control over that.
Strike highway system.
Yep.
Is that good for everyone?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good call, good catch.
I like
Dave.
it.
That's good.
I like
Good catch. Okay. Then public transportation within both community and the region shall be encouraged with particular attention to the needs of the elderly and handicapped, as well as promoting energy conservation and other comments.
I was stumped.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I'm still looking for that public transportation.
Yeah.
So, no, I mean, that's a serious issue.
It truly is.
If you
It
can't
is.
drive, you're screwed.
Oh, it's true.
And you're-
I mean, you can ride a bicycle down to the corner store or something, but you don't have some form of vehicle, you have a problem.
I have a friend that is actually working very heavily with a program in Saco. And they are a group of actually retired people, newly retired, that go around and drive the long-time retired.
The older
Oh,
farts,
yeah, the older, didn't want to say elderly, Don, but we'll say, okay, the old farts, Don.
yeah,
The ones that cannot or do not have a license anymore,
I know,
they pick them up and bring them to the grocery store, or they bring them to
no,
the
but that's a
doctor.
voluntary
It's a
program.
voluntary
Yeah.
program they started there, but yeah.
It's a good idea. It's a
We
good
have
idea.
nothing
I
here
mean, nothing
to
like that.
support our elderly. There's not even a place for them to
It's
gather
just,
together
it's
anymore.
family members and things.
Once we, I'm sorry, Don.
No, I'm just saying family members are what you're gonna depend upon unless you
better
have a
be with
neighbor and stuff, and sometimes, maybe you don't like your kids, they don't like you. I mean,
Right.
there's issues,
Right.
so.
Well, I'm hoping as we move forward with any kind of town hall expansion, to have to design it in such a way that it can be a community center also, within the expanded park.
I talked to Don, I was talking earlier, and you might have missed what I said, but one of my concerns about lumping a community center in with the meeting center for the town hall is you look at how many nights a week this room is booked. And even if you divide that room in two over there, I can guarantee you there's enough committees that you will have meetings in both those rooms every night.
Probably, but a community center is usually addressed, or it can be addressed around older residents, which is usually a day thing.
Could be used in a day. That's a thought.
Right, but then that limits your nighttime stuff for like offering a babysitting course to,
Well, that's it. I mean, you gotta
Yep.
balance it out, mix and match.
Yep.
Right now, we don't have any, we don't
right
have
now we have
anything.
nothing, so how do we discuss it?
Anything's
Yeah,
better than what we
anyone.
got
Well,
now.
maybe down the road, there'd be a separate community center for Parks and Rec, and we have full-time Parks and Rec, and, maybe there'd be a bug event or something.
I would love for it to be a bug.
I'm looking for grants to tell you.
Yeah, for sure.
But that would be nice for like the Parks and Rec building, so they have a
It-
base for all the projects they do for kids.
Yeah.
And- Well, right now, there's like, you have other communities that are, scheduled trips for the elderly to casinos or, to whatever else is happening. But yeah, to
Right.
offer more to our seniors of the town, because there's nothing being offered to them.
No, it's pretty,
And I
pretty,
think a
pretty
community
bleak now.
center is critical to make that
it's a
happen.
good idea. No question
By
about
the
it.
time we get rid of it, by the time this gets completed, we're all gonna be the
We will be the elderly.
I don't think I'll be around, Dave, but good luck.
John, you got enough libations, you're pickled, you're good.
I'm working on it. I'm fixing.
That was a beautiful word, Don.
Yeah. Where are we now? And how much more we got here? We're almost done.
So we're in strategies. but
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry, there's more than, just like comments and suggestions.
They're hard, they're very hard.
Yeah, boy, it's,
It's, we can all take a moment, because listen, Dave, I'm gonna send this final version that we've all tweaked a wee bit back to all of us and upload it into
Yeah.
Drive. And then I'm gonna parse out each of our questions and drop them onto a separate, survey sheet that we're gonna kind of read from.
okay.
And that gives us one more time to go over everything and, see, maybe there's some that we're just not gonna ask this time around.
Right.
Maybe we're just not gonna mention it on this survey going out, because we want to.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think
You
you,
know, keep it simple, stupid,
know,
just think of that right now, just keep it simple for people to, this is the first one.
I think it's,
I did have one more down on Dawn's
yeah,
Yeah.
page, and it's under strategies, the third one down.
One.
Yep.
two, Yep,
oh, yeah.
go ahead.
So, implement the townwide pay-as-you-dispose program or other incentives to raise the recycling rate. So would you support the town of Lyman installing a scale to take debris other than household waste and charge for the service of transferring debris?
Sounds good.
Okay, I'm typing slow, would you support the town of Lyman installing
A scale
a scale?
Yeah.
to take debris other than household waste. More by, instead of just having people load their own dumpster, you would basically dump it, they would separate it by
Oh.
machine,
Oh, God,
they
yeah.
would crush it and put it in different bins and send it out that way. It'd be a little more expensive for the people dumping, but that would be more probably
But-
contractors.
That would be their
Yeah.
choice, yeah, it would be a choice, it's not a force, correct?
Correct.
Yep, I like that idea.
Yeah, let's ask her.
Yeah, I said, these are all good ways.
Yeah,
Again, some of these we may not even ask this first time around.
Yeah,
Right.
that should be a moneymaker.
Yeah, I think it would be too.
I wanted to suggest that at the beginning of the survey, we say, are you a Lyman resident?
Oh, yeah.
How long have you been a, or something to that effect? How
So-
long have you been a Lyman resident?
Do we care whether, I don't know how personal we want to get, but do we care whether the person is, owns or rents?
I just put that in there.
Oh, did you? Good.
You own rent.
That gives you a
I would think,
perspective anyway.
I mean, it's, we're not asking for their personal information, so it's kind of anonymous in a sense, we're just asking these questions.
Yeah.
You can even have it so that they don't have to answer it.
Yes,
You know, it's not like a required, if we want it required, we make it required, like they can't move on.
Right.
We have the-
Oh, yeah,
and it
yeah.
doesn't really matter whether they live here or not. The final vote is gonna be a registered resident.
Correct.
Right.
Did you even?
Yep.
Just stupid questions like that, because, let's find out. And then tell the people that read it.
yeah, throw it out there.
I can honestly not say I joined the committee, it was the first time I ever read the whole thing.
Yeah, because nobody,
Yeah,
Do they even know it exists, or do they just not care?
no, I don't know that they know it exists, number one. In fact, I can't remember now if this is on the website or not. It might be.
No, we just discussed
No,
that,
it's
it's not.
It's not on the
It's not.
website? Well, then obviously not
So
gonna
let
read
me
it.
get it.
I don't even think they know what it is, let alone.
No, well, that's why I thought it'd be a fun question to ask.
Okay, I think that's a good question.
Can
Yeah.
you name 4 town documents for a contest?
Bonus question?
Bonus question is, what are they?
I can name 4. I can tell you that.
That's funny.
We'll just have it as a fun.
Yeah, that's funny. Bonus question, that's good.
Smiley face.
Okay, well, I think it's
Well, that was a
I
good,
think we did a good
get
job.
started on the thing anyway. I mean, it's, but you're keeping the town manager informed, aren't you?
yes,
Michelle?
I will be sending her this document tomorrow.
Okay,
So she has it with our tweaks on it and what we're gonna be asking, and that we're gonna go over these questions one more time.
Yeah.
Before we create our survey.
and I mean, to see if there's anything, the reason I'm saying that is that we want to make sure that we're not, I don't know what all the rules are for municipal government, that we're not asking anything that is I mean, conceivably, there's something we're asking that we shouldn't be asking. I don't know if there's
No, I
anything in
think
there.
everything we've asked is very on par.
I mean, I'm all over this DEI stuff, so I want to make sure we're fully compliant. Just saying for the record on those thousands of people watching.
Thousands, yes.
Don, you're
All
following.
one of us?
Your dog probably has its own following.
Yeah, I'm sure. I know I don't. That's why I'm not on Facebook.
Dawn, it is good to hear your voice today,
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm still around barely. I'm
though.
hanging in.
Well, a lot of times when you sit in the back, I can't hear you.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah, that is a
You're
problem.
gonna move up to here, beside
Yeah,
the
you gotta
podium.
move
All that, then
near
people,
the podium.
they see the back of my bald head. Kinda.
Wear your hat.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I could do that. I could do that.
Becoming incognito. Oh, my ever-loving guys.
Anyway, you still down in Florida there, Dave?
I'm all over.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, I'm doing knee stuff.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
You're trying to
that's
get your
right, yeah.
knee fixed up.
How's
You're
that
gonna
going?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
adjourn. Most second, third.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Thank you all.
Great.
Sorry I was late.
Okay, well, thanks.
You wanna hang 1 second, Dave? She's just shutting down the Zoom. I'm just shutting down YouTube.
Yeah, good. But Dave has good input. It's good to get his comments.
No, I'm glad you showed up.